Yo, what's up? Day two doing Maya XGen grooming, making hair, sending that to Unreal Engine, doing simulation and a whole bunch of stuff over in the Unreal Engine world. Hair is not what I want to be spending my time on necessarily, but this current like wave of stuff I'm working on is really all about digital humans, and Unreal Engine's been so kind as to make really great realistic looking hair from a lighting point of view possible. So I'm kind of like uh, forced in a good way to basically work on this, which is cool. I used to make hair in Cinema 4D. I've done a little bit of hair in Houdini, so it's really just learning the tools again and then coming face to face with the fact that I don't know how to actually like groom hair, because it's basically the same thing. Like if you learn Marvelous Designer, which is like how you make clothes, one of the ways, eventually you learn the tool, but then you have to learn how to actually design clothes. And if you can't design clothes nicely, then there's really no point in even learning it. Um, so I'm gonna have to like, I think, come up with a couple hairstyles that I can pull off, and then probably using them in Cinetracer maybe. If these are maybe a little heavy to bring into Cinetracer, I'll find out. But I've made a bit of progress with the sculpting stuff. And I started off using this XGen interactive primitives or interactive thing. Yeah, XGen interactive groom editor. I actually don't like it. Maybe I just have to get used to it. But I'm back to using regular XGen. So I followed Jesus's tutorials. I watched like all like 12 of them or 16 or something. And I watch Habib and a bunch of other people stream or just time lapse through the process. So I kind of get it now more than before. I want to delete these morph targets, but I don't know if there's really if I don't know what'll happen if I do that. Probably nothing, eh? And what are these? Oh, vertex groups. They look like or skin. I don't know. We don't need this mesh. It's just like the skin cap, really. Okay, let me make sure everything's running. Looks reasonable. So I'm gonna keep these streams on like an unlisted or something like that. It's the same thing when I used to stream Houdini stuff. It's not like for everybody. It's not for many people actually. It's mostly for myself. I watch them back and kind of like look at my progress with it. Okay, so I'm gonna start by just isolating the head cap. Oh yeah, what kind of hairstyle am I gonna go for? Oh yeah, so I'm gonna do like a parted bob that's like shoulder length. I always like associate this with like, I won't even say, yeah. Anyway, that's the kind of haircut I'm gonna go for today. The groom. And I've learned a lot about the physics, so I think I can kind of anticipate the physics that I need to do for this in Unreal already, which I'm sure it's very experimental, but it seems stable enough for me. I haven't tried packaging any of the grooms yet. In Editor, I kind of know what triggers like the crashing and what stuff is sketchy and what's not. But it seems like I could package it for an experimental kind of project like Cinetracer, so people could actually try these who don't have to learn XGen and whatnot, because it's kind of impossible to buy these at this point. Am I going to get into Motion Builder? Probably. Because after I set up my like Vive, like once I finish programming the Vive and face integration, then I'm going to move back into Rococo stuff, because like not everyone's going to be able to follow the Vive, because it requires programming on the Unreal side, which not everyone can do. So people in Cinetracer world, right, where like I do the management of all that stuff, like they'll be able to use the Vive stuff and there's no setup. They just turn on the Vive and it works like a video game. But like kind of develop like, the Unreal Engine developers or Unreal Engine virtual production people, they may not be able to actually set up the. One second, I'm gonna go a little further on this one. Then they might not be able to actually set up the blueprinting and the I/O needed. So I'll probably get into gonna get back into the suits, and then the suits need cleanup. So I'll do a cleanup in Maya and Motion Builder probably, just to show like one, to get reacquainted with like kind of how the high end works, because it's all Motion Builder stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna jump back in. I'm paying like monthly for Maya right now. I'm just gonna pay for the what's it called, the media entertainment license, which is $2,800 a year for all the software, which is fine for me. It'd honestly be like a relief, because then I don't have to manage any licenses. I hate the monthly licenses. I'd rather just pay for it. I just canceled my Substance one because I don't use it. And I just did my accounting for the year, so I'm like, I'm really not using Substance anymore. Should make another channel to have. And I've thought about it. I have a cinematography design YouTube channel that was like all Cinema 4D, and so I could do one, but like I don't really care, I guess. I'm not really like trying to become like a successful like 3D artist YouTuber. It's more just like at this point it's part of my very odd process of learning new things. I stream them. Oh shit. Oh, okay. So what you got to do for this is you got to actually set up the project correctly, which I didn't, and I forget how you set up Maya projects. It's been a hot minute. Set project. Kind of make a new one. You have to set up the project for XGen to work correctly. Project window. Okay, here we go. Okay, so let's make like an actual project here. See if I remember how to do this. I remember learning this in college. Like so long ago. But I'll tell you, like every second I've spent in Maya has returned its value. So I'm gonna call this one, I don't know, Groom project. Like names matter for this because you end up having like all these ptext files that get generated. That's it. That's the directory, and I'm gonna call this Groom project and accept. Okay, so I think we are in the actual project now. I'm gonna save it. In project scenes, I'm gonna call this one female 036 Groom 01. Okay, because I figured out. Well, I'm gonna be testing today the actual density maps and section maps and all that stuff to make it look better. I think I understand the full workflow now. It's just getting good at whatnot. Oh, what's up, Free No Mom? What's going on, man? Incident Chaser will be able to bring our own assets and maybe eventually. I did see the Ornatrix demo. Yeah, that'll be cool. I make too much money for Maya Indie. What's up, Snake? Yeah, Blender looks like it has great tools for hair. Like I think some of the best hair YouTubers are definitely Blender users. Yeah, indie. I don't qualify for indie though. Do you know how to adjust the roughness of hair in Unreal Engine? You know what? So someone on Twitter, I'm not gonna go in my. Someone just tweeted at me. I guess like a really good melanin shader for Unreal Engine, so I'll check that out. Yeah, I haven't started doing the Unreal Engine shader side of stuff yet at all. Yeah, I used to stream Houdini. I streamed Houdini for about, I think like 6 months or something like that. And so I built up like a Houdini following, and then I deleted them all because it's just not like really part of the brand. It's more just like something I had to do. Sort of like this too. I don't want to be like known for like sculpting hair, but like I do need hair real bad. 100% need it. So I think another thing. So we have the project set up. Yeah. So I'm going to do, is there a paint hotkey? Because man, do I need it. Paint selection hotkey? I don't think there is. It's Q. I need to make that like, I forget, but I go up there and click that way too much. So with this hairline, I'm going to go like too far, right? For this hair card. And then I'm going to paint it back. Right. So like you don't want this to actually be the hairline. It looks like a robot. So I'm going to go like a little bit further than I normally do with the hair plate. And then I'm going to paint the section maps and the density maps. But you want to have some buffer. So like really the hairline starts probably here, but I'll paint that in versus using that to define it. So this is just like an instrument. Just practice and practice and practice and practice until you get it. And then you're not thinking about it. You're thinking about the creative, because I have a lot of projects in the wings right now. And either using character creator, it's not even I don't really care. This isn't for shipping yet, but like this is all process. But like either using just like character creator for the base mesh, and hiring out someone to sculpt it for the likeness, or me just doing it, or just having someone completely build their own character. I already have some people for that. Hair though, I mean they can do hair too, but they're mostly like hair card deliveries. So there's a chance when the projects are like small enough that I'll do the hair if I get good enough at it. Okay, so I'm going to, we don't have to protect this mesh, so, and I forget all the hotkeys in Maya, so I'll get back to it eventually, but I'm going to, okay, fuck it, I'll just do shift right click. There should be like detach or something like that. There it is, detach components. that it? I know Houdini so well now at this point. I know the Houdini nodes for this. I haven't done it like destructive style for a while. Is it detach components? That was not it. Okay, so there's something like, I just did this yesterday. It's like separate face or something like that, and it splits it into two meshes, and I just want to do it that way. Mesh, where's this thing? I could also like invert the selection and just delete everything. I'm like real close to just doing it that way. No, I need the face though to kind of like check it out. Damn it, where is this delete? Wait, so I'm selecting the head, shift right clicking, and then it should be like detach or something like that. It's not detach components. Like components is not it. Is it just right? Do I just right click? No. Is it control? No. There's shift right click and there's alt right click and there's space, and then you get like the menus that are up there. Is it detach? How come it's what? Really? It's not detach? I'll figure it out. I don't like the symmetry seems sketchy in Maya. It doesn't like work, but maybe I will. Separate mesh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Any updates regarding Cinetracer? I'm trying to make digital humans that look good for Cinetracer. That's what I'm doing. A lot of stuff is updated. I just haven't pushed the update. It's not ready. Detach works on Edge. Oh, there's commands for the Unreal Engine side of physics. Yeah, I haven't torn into it too much. I basically do strand size and I do something else. I forgot. Once I get back into Unreal, I'll show it. It's pretty. Luckily, it's all real time. So like normally, like when you do hair sims, you have to you change a setting and you render for like an hour and then you watch it and you're like, oh, that's what that did. But in Unreal, it's like at least it's like super real time until it crashes. So you learn the settings really quickly versus like you know, for instance, Houdini, you gotta render everything out and figure it out. Like it doesn't really play back. Like you can't really tell what's gonna happen until you do it. Yeah, I thought. What did you say it was a separate mesh? Like where is this thing? Detach. I used to have like custom shelves and everything for this, but now I don't really care about modeling in here. I model in Houdini, but I mean Houdini has groom tools too. I just don't know how to do it yet. It's like Houdini has like so many different like VOPs and there's just so many different modes. I haven't learned that, so that would just take like a long time. Whereas this I pretty much know. That being said, it's taken me like a hot minute to find the freaking separate for this. I'm about to just dupe the head and delete it, just do the selection again. Where is it? This should not be hard. Or is it? This should not be a difficult thing to do here. I did this yesterday without even thinking about it. Like, am I actually selecting this head? Hold on one second. Like, there's this faces. There's the selection. I mean, I'm gonna lose this selection if I delete it. That's a slow start to the day. What the fuck? Where is this? Oh, separate. Oh, thank you. God damn it. Okay, so I don't even care about the history. Like, here's the hair cap. Okay, hair cap. I did delete all those morph targets, so yeah, they should be fine. I guess I'll clear the history off of this situation. I don't know the hotkeys anymore. I used to have this stuff like all down. Delete all by type history. Boom, go away. Okay, that's not how you do that. Really? What? I thought, is it this you clear the history off of? Delete all by type history. Oh, okay, there we go. I don't need this transform node at the top. Man, I like Blender a lot, but I still don't like how they do the hierarchy, which may be like they're just more advanced or something, like they're thinking on like some next level of how things should be done. But I come from Cinema 4D and Maya hierarchies, and I still have a very hard time when I look at that outliner in Blender. I'm like, what's happening here? And the skeletons are crazy. I know people pull it off, but I just look at the skeleton editor in Blender and I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this? I like just being able to like parent bones like right here. You can do so much parenting and stuff like right in the hierarchy. It's just like way faster. Uh-oh, not the walk tool. No one wants the walk tool. Ever. How do you turn off the walk tool? Jesus. Okay, so I got this hair cap situation. And we're going to do XGen regular. I don't know what you call this. Unreal Engine calls it like legacy, because you have to convert this back to something. Oh, duplicate, that would have worked? Okay, yeah, that would have worked. Yeah, I was going to duplicate, but I didn't want to reselect the mesh again, but I know it was in there. Maya has everything, especially if I have to UV this stuff, which this is pre-UV'd from Character Creator. Much happier to UV in Maya. They have like Maya and Max still have best UV tools. Like I've not seen any plugins for add-ons for Blender that can handle it yet. Okay, so XGen, boom, new description. Okay, so names matter because I'm gonna try to do multiple descriptions and then or multiple. I think the descriptions are like the sections of hair, and then I'm gonna have multiple, and then try to merge them all back into one interactive, which collapses them, and then send one groom to Unreal because I don't think the viewport can handle two. At least I've been crashing pretty hard on that. So this is the description. So this is the little one. I'm gonna say top hair. Really, it's the sides. I'm gonna say sides, like hair sides. I know I'm streaming in 4K. You probably can't even read this, but like, I can't do Maya in 1080. It looks ridiculous. Unreal Engine I can do in 1080. It works fine. And this collection is gonna be called female hair 36 or something. Not that it matters, but just a name at all. And we're just gonna place guides by hand, and I think that's it. Okay. Little warning at the bottom. Okay, so I'm gonna go for like I guess I should pick a picture now. Just fucking do it like a like a noob will work without reference. So I'm gonna just do like a part. So it's gonna be like shoulder length hair, no bangs, just shoulder length hair that's gonna do this. Wah on this side and wah on this side. And I got pretty far with it yesterday, except I didn't realize there was a sculpt tool, so I moved everything by hand, which was excellent. And I've just watched a couple more tutorials on it. So I'm going to click on... So you're supposed to start in the back, yeah, but that's more like the Grooms style. I think when you do it individually like this, it really doesn't matter. But I saw someone do a pretty convincing sculpt where you have longer hair, where you start in the back, fold it down, the back, fold it down, the back, fold it down. That's a section. Then you do the side, start here, fold it down, fold it down, fold it down, and you work kind of from like the bottom up, like the under layers first. So maybe I should do that. But then again, I'm just gonna do interpretive, or is that what it's called? Where it interpolates it interpolates the entire head. Versus I watched a bunch of Blender tutorials too, and in Blender they have like basic hair where like it doesn't interpolate. It's just like there's a spline, here's some hair. I don't know if you can do that with XGen, and that's not the way I would do hair anyway. But so the question is, where do you start? Because like that strategy is somewhat important because it gets unwieldy. But based on what I did yesterday, I'm going to start. Because like normally I would section this for bangs, which I still want to test. But I'm going to start here. I'm going to start... Oh, I should probably do symmetry for this. I'm not going to for some reason. I don't know why. Should I do symmetry for this? It is a symmetrical haircut. Seems insanity not to. I don't really... Not that comfortable with this add tool in symmetry mode, though. I don't really know how to do that. I'm just going to do that by hand. Oh well. So there's the midline. I'm going to start here. Okay, so you can scale this apparently. Okay. So it's going to be pretty big. That's probably it. Like, yeah, it's a little long, but maybe not. Hard to say. Okay, so what I didn't realize yesterday is that I'm going to save is there is the paint tool. Sculpt guides. Yeah, this I didn't know. I was moving the CVs by hand. And so if you do it fairly big, it'll show you the CV sections, where interactive groom tool does not really do that. So if I bring this down here. Oh, yeah, this is so much faster. I was doing this by hand yesterday. Oh, my. Oh, well, whatever. That was a learning process. But I still like being able to grab the CVs in CV mode. That's how I did all the grooms for the last 2 or 3 that I've done. I still like the control of having to go back to Gizmo if you need to. I like that. So yeah, 5 CVs is pretty, I mean, it's like the minimum. It's like not enough. But that's where we'll start. I'll rebuild these as I need. Yeah, 5 is just like way too little. Okay, so I'm going to rebuild this one at like 7. I think 10 or 7. I think 10 for this length hair is pretty reasonable. But 7, I'm getting it done. This is it. That's the shape. It's just like if you do these like really hard turns, the hair like shoots off crazy into a tangent. So that's kind of the idea. One of these guys, and so I saw. I don't know if you can like rotate it. XGen core, right, right. Yo, free Nomad, where are you based out of? If you can share, if you don't want to, that's completely fine. I'm just interested. Okay, yeah. So there we go. There's our first little hair situation. So I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do one side. Does that make sense? Versus trying to do the other. I mean, definitely I should be doing symmetry, I guess. Where's the hair cap? Okay, I give myself a huge hair cap because I was concerned before with a little hair cap. If I put an XGen guide here, like what does that do? Off the hair cap. I don't know if that does anything or not. I think it has something to do with weighted influences and stuff that I don't quite understand just yet. You can view the weighted influence, or maybe that's only for interactive. I don't know. Anyway, so the cool workflow for this is that you can then add a hair guide. Wouldn't mind seeing the topology here. I'm gonna say like here, and then you can copy this shape. I need to stick this on a layer and freeze it. Paste guide shape. There we go. So you got like some of the work for free, and I need to hotkey that guy, and get my Wacom tablet comes today. This is stuff that should be 100% done on a Wacom tablet, not you're with your mouse. You have no finesse over pressure with a mouse, but it's a start. So I have this tendency to like, because I'll get better, and I have a couple tests that I'll try, but like I tend to give the hair like I have it travel this way when I think I probably should keep it like a grid. I don't really know. I guess it depends. I watched Habib's Kurt Cobain sculpt time lapse about 3 times now, just to kind of like basically like I just watch it and I'm like, do I understand every step here? Like, do I know what he's doing? He writes little like annotations on the side, but like I want to be able to just like look at it and be like, I get it. And so I saw him do this. He places so many guides. I guess that's really what it comes down to in the end, is like, for me, I guess this is pretty similar to Cinema's hairstyle, which is the hair system, which is the last system I really spent time in. But like it really comes down to defining almost like every strand of hair. It's like so much of it gets defined. You know, it doesn't interpret. I don't know if there's like a machine learning layer or anything that has to happen in there, but it doesn't just like look like normal hair until you define like every hair on the head, basically. And then the rest of it's like stacking clump modifiers correctly. And I saw Jesus's style of doing expression based flyaways. I kind of like that, but at the end of the day, I think you would, at a certain point, you do convert this to an interactive, and you just like start doing it like it's a sculpt, like you're like in the real world. You just take out a comb and you just you brush the hair in the way that you like. But for like, I think for like frizzy hair and whatnot, you could do like a procedural. What's it called? Procedural frizz and that kind of stuff. I really do need to, and then the other reason I'm like kind of committing into building hair, which is like not again my specialty in anything, is that like there's just no racial diversity when it comes to online like available digital humans. So even if I can configure like black and Indian and Asian and just different ethnicities in like character creator, there's no hair. There's just absolutely no hair. So I might end up becoming like somewhat of like an expert in like just different types of hair. And I think I kind of get it. I kind of understand, like, I mean, I don't really, but like, not from experience anyway, but from watching online, I kind of see like how you attempt or approach sculpting like different types of hair, other than like these easy sculpts are just like, everyone has like perfectly straight hair or like insanely curly hair. That stuff's pretty easy. Okay, so the back section, I'm not really exactly sure what the back of hair of this looks like because I don't do this that much, but I'll figure this out. So it starts to transition into the back part of the hair. I probably should, like this back part is really just, there's like a section like right here, and it's just like a waterfall. It's not like, I mean, that's how I'm gonna do it anyway. Especially for like long hair. If it's short hair, you kind of have to sculpt it a bit more. I think, for this, like this one's getting away from me here. Yeah, this is like way off on the silhouette. Okay, this sculpt tool is great. So I'm gonna call this the Habib style of sculpting, hair sculpting, because that's where I kind of learned it. This is my first day doing it too, so I have no idea. Yesterday I did this all from I like made up a workflow, and it was like it kind of works, and now I'm trying to like copy some analysis and see what I like about it. Okay, this one's a mess, and it's gonna need like a ton of in-betweens, but it's kind of the general idea. So I'm just gonna keep going around the head and do like a very, very wide, broad pass of this, just doing it like that. It's a little shorter than I was expecting. That always happens, huh? You know what? I always end up giving like too much distance from the head. Well, you gotta like really keep it closer. So we'll see. I'll pat the whole thing down later, I guess. What was the Not Alone short film? I don't. What is that? I don't know. I don't watch a lot of stuff right now. I watch like StarCraft videos when I go to bed, and that's it, pretty much. Oh, okay, well. Sculpting hair. It's a weird, I don't know. I can sense from like how, when I post videos like 10 a day or something like that across all platforms, and I can tell like what people are interested in. People don't care about hair. Which is fine. I think it's like too complicated, and I think most people look at this and they're like, I'm not doing this, and I get that. Like, what, you know, most people don't make it. You know, you're not going to ROI anything from having like photorealistic hair. At the end of the day, you show it to your friends, you're like, I made CG hair. They're like, cool. Why did you do that? But for me, I have quite a bit to gain from having incredibly good looking CG hair. You know, like basically if I get good at this enough, I can put them in Cinetracer, and then the lighting just the lighting is just so much better. Like once I've seen this, I really don't want to go back to card hair ever. Like I just don't want to do it. Even if it's a little buggy, it's like the second I saw ray tracing in Unreal Engine, I was like, well I mean, I still use a lot of raster lighting. You just kind of have to. But I was like, I no longer care to learn anything about raster lighting and baking and whatnot. Like, I just know over time I'm not... Okay, I need to lengthen this. I think you scaled them. I was like, I just don't need to go back into that world. You know, I'm not baking for mobile games. I'm not baking for PS4. I mean, I guess you bake a little bit for some virtual production like TV sets, but I'm like, I'm going dynamic lighting all the way. And so the second I saw this hair, I was like, this makes the digital humans so much better. Like, and I can tell from the comments too, because people start treating them like they're real humans. Like, they're like, oh, their haircut looks crazy. Like, or it's like, you know, you start to regard people kind of subconsciously start to regard the digital humans as like real humans, and I can tell from the comments. Versus like when you place video game hair, people just like kind of like suspend their disbelief. They're like, oh, it's a video game human. Like, no one ever talks about the hair when I post videos like that. But then as soon as you do like these realistic hair sims, people are like, that's a weird haircut. Like, I mean, on top of the fact that I give them bad haircuts, but like, anyway, I can tell, and it's I have the same reaction to a fox. So like, I kind of feel like I messed up the center line of this person's hair, but like the part is ridiculous. Okay, crap. Let me hit the. Oh shit. Oh wow, what the hell is going on here? Is this because I changed the background color? Why is it white now? I turned it on to... What the... Did I turn on lighting by accident or something? Is that this? I thought this is lighting. This is a restart. I hit a button. Oh my god. So 4, 5, 6, 7... I don't know what 8 and 9 do. I haven't had this issue. I'm just gonna restart. Hopefully that resets the whole thing. I wonder if making just a new one will pop it up. There we go. Oh god, I have a feeling it's gonna be the same when I hop back in it. Don't be white. Don't be white. Ah, there we go. Okay, good. Oh no, there's the preview. You don't want to look at that yet. That's just like, this just makes you sad when you see how crappy it is to start. But you gotta just put the main guides down. So I kind of want to see like, okay, I gotta make her a Lambert. At least that's what Jesus said. You gotta make the skin Lambert to see it. Yeah, so I have put the guides in like a really stupid place. Yeah, okay. So let me do like smooth wireframe over shaded, or just wireframe over something like. Yeah, okay. So Let's see if I can figure out how to move these guys. Like, I don't need the preview. We're nowhere near seeing the actual hair yet. Okay, so I gotta move this. So this is a good test anyway. So, move tool. Where's that thing? Okay, so you hold control. Yeah, there we go. Okay, not so bad. Damn it. Hold control. Move it back towards the center. Yeah, I really screwed this up, but... Okay, so I gotta reshape all these now, but at least I caught it here. Blop, right there. That's gonna be it. And we're gonna paint a section line for that. So I gotta probably fix the hair. They're fine actually for now, but I'll go paint these up real quick. So this. Okay, so you gotta select it and then you paint it, which is nice. It's nice that it's isolated. Let's save this. Oh, cinematic captures film. Yeah, that was great. That was a good one. Yeah, I talked to him a lot. It was good. I was impressed with the size of team, the amount of people he got involved in it. That was the impressive part for me. Because that's really what it comes down to. Like, you're not jumping into CG film production or virtual production or any type of this stuff like alone. You're not gonna get very far. So it's really about assembling the team of people that know what to do. Right, so it's more of like a virtual production producing feat in my opinion. I was like, oh shit, you got these people to do this for you? Like, that's cool. You actually produced and put it out into the world? Like, you are, like, that's the difference. That's the difference for a lot of creators, is like, you actually did it. You actually did something. And you actually have something you can show that has happened. Like, the number of people that get to that step is very low, like super low. So just producing a thing that you can show is impressive, especially in this space. It's very, this stuff is really easy to get stuck sculpting hair for a month instead of making a movie. Oh shit, how come that didn't work? Or is it like in the head, right? Is that what happened? Yeah, I hate when that happens. Okay, so like the hair's like in the head. That stumped me yesterday for quite a while. I was like, where did this go? Luckily this sculpt tool is pretty fast. I was doing it CV by CV yesterday. Then I watched Habib do it and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's not the way. But I know viscerally now. Okay, so I got to start pushing this to the side. I like know the pain of doing it the wrong way, so I can appreciate this brush more, which is a lovely, like, NURBS brush basically. It's really good. Like, it's pretty smart. And I don't know if it's the 2080 Ti, which I imagine it is, but Maya's viewport is fast, like so fast. Like I put like, I don't know how much hair is in. Oh, you can check the spline memory actually, or the whatever. I can put a lot of hair in this viewport and just start pushing it around. There's no lag on my system at all, which is cool. I used to do Cinema 4D Grooms on a MacBook Pro, and that was pretty bad. That was pretty painful. Okay, so this move tool again, I've screwed this up somehow. Get yourself there. Okay. How many CVs are on this thing? This doesn't feel like 7 or whatever I said, but I can rebuild it. Where's the tool? There it is. I gotta pop this thing up. Okay, so I do this a lot too. So you gotta move the end, and then the end kind of stays there. Kind of like, yeah, these CVs I need more CVs in this thing to get hair this long. That's gonna look nice. Yeah, it's too short too. Too short. Okay, so I gotta scale it. I just like how like non-destructive this feels. It's nice. Like, I can just delete this curve and do it again. Like, whatever. Like, I need workflows like that. Things that are like get too baked, and like literally baking lighting is like the worst workflow in the world for me. Like, mentally, I'm just like, I can't handle that. Like, you make one little mistake, it's like, oh yeah, and I gotta bake for like 6 hours. Like, ugh, like I hate stuff like that. That's why I got out of CG in the first place. I was like, I don't like this. So I feel like this hair system's pretty good. And I was looking at a lot of the Blender sculpting stuff. I was like, should I like switch to? I was like, it's definitely possible. The I/O though scares me quite a bit. That like the Blender doesn't do Alembic correctly. It might. I don't know. But like, basically on the Unreal Engine website, they're like, here's how you export hair from Maya. So it's like guaranteed it'll work in Maya. It might work in Blender. And so like that stuff scares me. I'm like, I don't need like the might be. I need the this is how you do it. You spend. Okay, so again, it's in the head. Can you rotate this? I think you can. Oh, okay. Okay, there we go. We can just rotate this. Like this, that's great. That is pretty good. But you can definitely do blender hair. I've seen it. I just don't like. I just from like a support point of view, I'm like, but like it could like not work though, and I don't know. You can make hair and render it in Blender 100%. I've seen people send Grooms back to Unreal, but I'm still like kind of questioning like, is it really supported from Blender? It might be. But I'm not gonna. There's someone in the Facebook group who's like taking that lead. I'm like, I'm not gonna R&D for a week and find out eventually there's a dead end, which is what happened with character animation in Blender for me. I was like, oh, it turns out you can't actually do it. Like, it doesn't actually work. I was like, it was not a waste of time, but I wish I hadn't. I was like, oh, so you still need Maya and you still need Motion Builder. But I'm sure over enough time, it'll work perfectly. Okay, her hair's not long enough. I don't know if there's like a lengthen tool in this groom, but you scale, I guess. You just scale it, so hold on. Like, this is like, I feel like if you can do CG hair, I don't know, you're a certain type of crazy. Because I've done a lot of CG processes, and this is one of the longest and craziest of any of them. Even like just like straight up like destruction sims and Houdini are like not this level of craziness, where you're literally like, I guess it's just like a macro micro scale thing. You're like okay, it's time to think about individual strands of hair like being off to the side of the head now. It's like a lot. Very technical. Luckily, there's a ton of tutorials on this, though. How much RAM? I think it shows it at the top, but I don't know what those numbers mean. I don't know. This computer is not like the biggest amount of RAM. Like downstairs, like when I go film these simulations, I'll use the Z8, and that has like 192 gigs of RAM. This only has 64, I think. So like, if you've ever worked in Houdini, you'll find that is not much RAM. You won't be able to do too much with that. Before you just have to start, like, everything becomes like cached and kind of pre-baked and rendered. Spin it. Oh, okay. Le hair. Okay, 5 and back into it. I need a hotkey for that. I'm gonna bind once I get my Wacom tablet later today. I'm gonna bind one right to some button on the Wacom tablet for this. Get back to this tool. So this is the pane here, and then a lot of the stuff becomes procedural stacking, which is fun, I guess. It's very Houdini-ish. Like, this is a very Houdini-style tool, actually. I mean, Maya's always been the kind of like a quarter, 1/3 Houdini, and then the rest of it's like, destructive sculpting and moving verts and polys, but having no way of getting back, no proceduralism at all. I kind of like the Vroid style of maybe doing guides, which is like you put like this like kind of like wide waterfall plane where like you kind of know the shape of the hair. It's kind of like pre-sculpting the hair in ZBrush and then drawing guides on it. I kind of like that idea, and then that shape being procedural based on like some known head parameters. It's like, oh, how wide is the head? How tall is the head? How old is this person? And then you could take those parameters and then procedurally generate the kind of like capsule tracing volume around them as a parametric, and then you say like, okay, like how many. I'm gonna move this one a little bit. Control. I don't know why I'm moving it. It seems like actually fine. But you parameterize parameterize like the main shape, and then you parameterize, well, how many do I want to cross it, and then generally how many sections, because there's front, side, and back, and then like sideburns. Like do I want the section that for you, and just automate some of this stuff that's very It feels like artistic decisions, but it's not. Like it's 100% could have been parametric, and then you could possibly change it later. Like once you've done the sculpture, like, you know what? Let me change the base. The base shape under it parametrically, and so you kind of have you don't bake 100% of it into the actual hair sculpt. That's probably just better to be done like in Houdini straight up. But when it came to hair, I just look at what's out there in the world. It's like, okay, all these really great hair sculpts from like Ian and etc. They're all coming out of Maya, and then the Unreal Engine documentation literally says how you export out of Maya. So it's like, why fight it? I'm sure Houdini's Alembic is perfect. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. But if anyone's Alembic works, it would be Houdini's for sure. Okay, there's not enough CVs on this back one. So I can pre-tell where the issues are already on this, but that's like the first round. How many hours was that to do this? It's still not even worth looking at the actual hair that's going to happen because it looks like this. But that's the beginning, right? And then I'm going to do the underlayer. Right, so it does this like crazy bowing for multiple reasons, but one of them would be this. Let me put it to 20. Still doesn't fix it. So the reason it's doing this is because it's interpolating and it has no idea what the hell's going on down here or in the middle. So it's like, I'm going to make it huge. And that got me for a while. But I basically just have to do another round lower, and then define how the under ear is, and then do the last bottom part pushing down. And then the hair kind of flattens itself down. It stops looking like a clown haircut. But that's how like full head interpolation works for this. I'm gonna bring the CVs back to like 15 or something. Doesn't really matter. This part's kind of parametric, so it just follows the curve, this kind of like difficult curve here. That's a lot of points to define that, but we're really not even at the point where we care about the preview or the width or the no modifiers, etc. The Vive I. I just needed another Vive, and there's the Vive Pro's discontinued, so I bought a Vive I. I am interested in the Vive I tracking. I have the SDK now for performance capture, and the face tracker, when it comes out, is going to be a very viable face capture platform and way higher sampling rate than like Live Face or any of all the AR kit face solutions like max out at like 30 frames per second or something like that, maybe 40, so pretty bad, where I really need 60 or 90 if possible to be able to like run proper smoothing algorithms, proper predictive kind of things happening. So if you're sampling at the target frame rate, it's gonna look bad. So that's kind of what I presumably I would assume Vive Pro I tracking happens at 90 hertz. So it's gonna be like real fast, just like all the other Vive tracking stuff. And then we just need to work on getting it in through LiveLink and timecode synced, gen locked, etc. Syncing audio is a nightmare for any of these workflows. I just do it in post. Doing it live, I have no idea how people approach that. Okay, so more guides. Do I need to save as? I haven't corrupted a Groom yet. I forget what kind of stuff ends up corrupting Maya files. It's like, I haven't had one for a bit, but I've not corrupted a Groom yet, so I'm not gonna get like that. Never mind. I'm gonna iterate this, but like you can break this file. Like, oh, I'm doing binaries. I should do Maya ASCII files, not Maya binaries. Is it too late to switch? I don't think it is. I'm going to switch to Maya ASCII because if you corrupt, like say I spent like 4 hours doing this haircut and then it just doesn't even open, you can go into the ASCII file and start to like muck around. It's literally just mel, straight up mel written out, like this strand here, this CV here, this CV here, and you can go and like look for like, it's like an HTML file or JSON file. You can start to just look for the problem child and start deleting things out of it. It's not a fun workflow, but it's faster than resculpting it if you can figure it out. So I'm gonna put some more hair on here. The Daz stuff, I have a call with Daz next week. I'm straight to business. I don't fuck around. So I have a call with Daz and we're going to talk about some stuff. Okay, so you have no idea. See, so it's not a red flag. It's just like if Maya doesn't know what to do here and like kind of pre-give it a curve, it means it has no idea. And that's why the interpolation looks so bad. So the start is to copy the shape. I should put this on a reference. Okay, let me just do it. It's been a while since I've done this. So you select these two things. You and you are just separate meshes, top hierarchy. I have a Groom layer. That doesn't do anything. Is that the default layer? Okay, I got it. Okay. I think my head's over this. Doesn't matter. New layer. Add selected objects to layer. Reference. Okay, now I can't select the head. There you go. That'll save a lot of madness. So I think I probably did this, but copy, paste, boom, hair. We haired. Hotkey needed for this. Because then like, this all becomes zen and very live streamy for me. Like this is the kind of shit I can live stream. Like, or I like live streaming. It's not even so much like what's like watchable. That I don't care about. It's more like I don't know. There's certain things I like live streaming. It just like helps me mentally get through the process. You know what it is? It's, oh yeah, I remember. It's the things that are painful and suck. That's this. I'm either gonna like blast music and just like go somewhere else mentally and just start doing this, or I live stream it. Those are the same mechanisms for me. And then also this is like kind of like, it's like journaling or something, or yeah, like a journal, like a tech journal. And I have basically like 5 years of tech journal on the internet at this point. Not all of it public, but like I can go back and watch me in 2020 sculpting hair in Maya. And there's some value in it. Sometimes I pull clips from it for presentations, or it's just interesting sometimes to see it. Versus like most of the virtual production stuff is not streamable. It's like too much computer restarting and just like sitting there not knowing what to do. Whereas this is more of a like just this is more of a process. Like once you understand it, then it's like iteration. You do like 50 of these haircuts and you're like, eventually you start to get it. So now we want to, I've been pulling off this 7 CV, I think, thing pretty well. I haven't had to go to like 15 or anything. So copy this shape preemptively. Let's see if Maya knows what to do. So if we have like, if it has any clue when I do something like this, it'll pre-put it there. Yeah, okay, so now it has an idea. So the interpolated hairs are gonna be better. So I'm gonna put this on this same row here and just do it like a machine. Yesterday I was doing every other, like I would put the guides in between the main guides. I don't think that's the way. I think this is probably, keep it more like a grid, because it's a computer trying to interpolate between these strands. So that's the current thought, is like keep it on a grid. Grids tend to make things better in computers. So this is the thing that like I'm pretty sure if I spend a week doing it, I could write a script in Houdini that just does this for me, based on a parametric envelope essentially around this head, and then the splines are just done on it. What's it called? Just done on a grid, right? And we would just do searches. I mean, I kind of have to know the topology of the head, but like the new Relusion topology is amazing. Like the way that I can search for this vert in Houdini. I can find that point and I can find this point in Houdini. I mean, actually this is a known topology for this digital human, so I could number these verts. I could number every vert on this body and then just refer to them directly. And it would be a Houdini Relusion hair generator, something like that. And you couldn't change the topology. It would break the logic. But like this, there's no reason to do that by hand. I mean, like I could procedurally do that like 100%. It's just like, am I gonna write that though? And then I'm in a Houdini tool, which is like, I don't know which is more accessible to people, Houdini or Maya. I would think Maya. I think still more people use Maya overall. Not that I ever end up releasing these dev tools, but devs are a hard community to support products for because they're real picky, and all their use cases are like 1,000. Like they're just all very different from each other, so it's very hard to make one product that fits for like 5 devs have like completely different use cases for like a hair generator. Hair. So much hair. How would you approach using face cap in 60? You can't. I don't think you can. I'm talking to a bunch of different very high-end mocap face people, companies, technicians, etc. right now. Did that not work? Oh, it was a sculpt. Mostly around live capture. Like I don't care about post-processing. Like if you have to post-process like I'm just like, That sucks. I don't want to do that. I mean, I will when I have to, but like live mocap is always fun. Like it's always fun, and it's like playing an instrument, and I like doing it. And I'll program for a month if it means that I can do it live at some point, versus like just wing it and do some like crazy shit and then like clean it up in post. It's like I don't like that. I don't want to do. I don't have anything to do with that. So same thing with like animating hair. Like if you're a real animator, you're not gonna. I mean, it's not true. You probably still set up a lot of sims, but like if it's a cartoon, you're gonna animate the hair. Like that's like your job is like understanding secondary animation and like animating hair bounces and have the hair be like a character. Like that's what you're gonna do. But like I don't have anything to do with animating hair by hand. So I'd rather not do that. So I'd rather spend months learning how to set up a nice, well, not procedural hair, but like, you know, procedurally animated simulation hair in Unreal, get like 60% of the quality of hand animated and be like, call it a day. So here I am in XGen sculpting individual strands of hair. Pure madness. To most of my filmmaker friends who watch me do this stuff, they're like, what the fuck are you doing? It's worked out pretty well so far though. That looks terrible. I should probably start to do preview interpolations at this point. But I mean, basically you do the top all the way around, this middle, this neck section, the neck section, then the ear, and then the back of the head. You look at it, do a couple modifiers, and then do it again. And again, and again, until you have like the actual shape you're looking for, and then at a certain point you pick a density, throw it back to Unreal. And that's it. And then you pick your simulation settings and you've got hair. And you do flyaways procedurally. I'm going to just hand sculpt the flyaways, hand place them. And then I'll probably look at that dude's hair shader, the melanin hair shader. Sounds like a good look. That's how Arnold does it too. Should have probably just... I hope I would assume and hope that if I buy the full Autodesk M&E package for $2,800 a year, that Arnold comes with it. I hope that's the case, because like, it's kind of a good control for hair rendering to do a the Arnold melanin hair shader render, and then look at the Unreal one and see like, okay, like Arnold's doing it the right way, or the way that I understand hair rendering. And then I'll see how Unreal does it, you know, how the real-time version of differs from Arnold is a good control. Just like using V-Ray for glass is a good control for like the ray tracing. Glass is super hard in real time. I have no idea how to really do it properly. Okay, so this is getting too, this is supposed to be the underlayer, so it's supposed to be down here. I think this is too long is what I'm fighting, but I'm just going for the general shape. Not like this. Should smooth this. I don't have a quick hotkey for smooth. It should just be shift. I'm not even going to test it though, but like shift this should just be smoothing like in ZBrush. But I'm not going to try it. It's too long. Maybe. I have no idea. That's an ugly spline. That would make, that's going to look terrible. Need a hotkey for this. It's too many CVs. I'm going to pull it out, bring it up. There it is. I'm done. We got to keep moving. That's not gonna look good when that comes out, but well. Next one. At least I have like a workflow now. Like before I was literally like trying to reinvent the wheel with like some different techniques, and I was like, okay, never mind, I'll just do this the hard way. This is the hard way. 100% the hard way. Life is turd. Even Blender's accessible. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the sculpting tools in Blender are good. I'm just concerned about the workflow back to Unreal. That's the part that I'm not willing to... Like, if enough people show me, they're like, yeah, I did this, like, amazing sculpt in Blender. And it's in Unreal, and I'm doing sims on it and everything, and, like, and it's like, yeah, the pipeline's great. It's like, cool, I'll consider it. I would consider going back to Blender for it. But that's mainly it. I know you can make good sculpts in Blender. I don't know if you can get them back to Unreal cleanly. I've seen a couple demos, but not enough to, like, pull me out of Maya. I'm looking for the guaranteed thing, not the cheap thing, not the easy one. Just like I need it to work, like guaranteed ROI on time. Like I knew for a fact, pretty much, like it's like if I spent a month, which it's probably not going to be a full month of hair. I don't tend to have that Um, I get bored. Right? I like to move on since then. I'm not going to do a full month of this, but if I do like 2 weeks of hair, I know I'm going to get something I can use in Unreal as a stepping stone. Versus other workflows, it's like, I don't know. I don't feel as safe spending that much time there. Blender changes so fast, which is great, and it's changing for the better, but it changes so quick. Like, I feel like I'm going to have to relearn the UI. And so that's just time learning Blender instead of time making hair. So that's kind of like where I'm at with it. But I'm sure it's fine. You can at least make the hair. I've seen that. Like, and honestly, I think there's a couple of things that are in Blender that you can't even do in XGen that look kind of nice, but that's still not enough. And it's a weird balance. So like certain contractors I work with work in Blender. Like they do all their work in Blender. So it's like, it's good for me to keep it in Blender. But the second you start to interface with like a professional character company, it's all Maya. You know, I'm like, so for instance, if someone builds a sculpt for me, for hair, I'm like, when I work with this contractor or I work with this company where we're like collaborating on a digital human, it's like, so can you send it to me? Can I see it? Right? And so like, what format is that? And it's mostly Maya and a lot of XGen stuff. And so it's also just being able to like interop with the industry a little bit. We definitely need another layer in between this one. Let's look at what the hair actually looks like at this point. Draping, textile. Okay, that's not bad. I mean, it's terrible, but it's you know, like, it's not clown hair as much now because we've defined the next layer under it. Still needs a lot of work, of course, but you know, overall it's starting to look like hair. We need to pick up the guides out of the head a little bit. That could also be done here with like a little bit more CVs. But it's still just nowhere near enough information. It's like, should I put the hair directly through the eye? It seems like what you're telling me. That's what XGen thinks. So we're not done. Yeah, so definitely like this huge area here, it's just going through the head, right? It's like poof, through the eye, so that's not good. So yeah, just more of the same of this basically. And to my understanding, that's how you do long hair. You know, medium-sized hair. You just do this, keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. And then it's procedural modifier stacks of clumping and noise and fraying and flyaways. And that's hair. You know? And then it's about what you do with it. It's like, you know, how do you model this head with polygons? There's only a couple methods, and you do them, and you either good at it or you're not. You make ugly humans or you make good-looking ones, just like I make ugly hair. That's my specialty in the world now. Yeah, so like, again, when you place the guide and it has no idea, it's just like, nothing. Means it has no idea what's happening. And that's why there's hair through her eyes. Paste. I like this workflow quite a bit though. I hope after 2 weeks of doing this, I have honestly just one male groom, one male hairstyle that I like that I'll use for my digital human demos based on Relusion. And that's the haircut I'll use for all my digital human demos for the next month or so. And then put it as like an experimental into Cinetracer. That's all I need. And then again, when I'm working with like I don't hope to be making too many haircuts. Like, well, maybe for Cinetracer, like I'll do like, cause like that's that's a cost-effective like work. Like if I build the hair, then that's a lot of money saved, and I own the assets and I don't have to worry about like the legal side of it, contracting for Cinetracer. Okay, this hair is too long. But really, I more just want to know this workflow. So like if I'm working with another artist who's doing XGen, I'm like, have any idea what they're talking about. And then I can preview it. I'm like, make sure we're on the same Maya versions, same everything builds, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, cool, send me the XGen sculpt and I can look at it and know what I'm doing. Which I kind of anticipate having to do that. And I was like, I don't know the hair workflows anymore. And if they're working with Ornatrix, I need to go get that. I looked at the Ornatrix stuff, and it seems I don't see what I gained from it yet. Versus this this plus the interactive groom system. I'm like, I think It feels like Maya has sort of Sherlocked Ornatrix. I see a lot of people using it still, but I don't. Maybe it's more for like for more advanced stuff, like braided braids, like you or something like that. Like you make braids and then you braid those braids and then you sculpt those braids, like avatar hair basically. But for like normal haircut, I was like, this XGen shit seems like it's fine. Like I don't think I need it yet. But if as soon as I understand the use case, I'll buy it, try it out, like build a couple, and then at least I know about it when we're talking about it, like knowledgeably to the character artist people. Not even character artist anymore now. It's like I've been doing amateur character art since I was in like high school. I've taken like way too many courses on it and like anatomy and stuff like that. And it's like there's always like character art for like games, but now it's like, oh no, you make an AI, you make digital beings. We can fund this, take this right to Silicon Valley. So now it's like digital humans, even more viable to study this as a craft. It's like it's not just for a video game or for like a movie. You just have a whole tech company that just does digital humans. Add the word VR and AR in it, and you got a startup right there. Maybe not in 2020, but previously. More hair guides. Yeah, this is a big open area. Big open areas are bad. You gotta add some more in there. I'm feeling this. I'm confident this turns into a usable haircut demo for the day. That's all I need. Things that don't end up in a clip make me very sad. Get depressed. I need to be able to see I need to see the progress. I need to understand it. Like I watched, like the first day of doing sculpts, I was like, this is fucking garbage. And so I changed course and I started to do more regular XGen. Still garbage. So I watched some more videos and now I feel like it's a little better. Just like rapid course correction of failure. And so like I have a theory that this is going to look good because this is how Habib does it. And we'll see if that's true at the end. Could be wrong, could be completely wrong. He put one like at the bottom and just went, which like there's definitely some like clever interpolation. That was a bad one. Tricks that I'm going to try out that I saw him doing. God, I need a Wacom tab in my hand or just like, what are you doing? Sculpting the hair. But the end product of this is when I do my virtual human demos and I light them nicely and I film them nicely, they look like humans instead of video games. So this is the dream. I used to do hair stuff like this in Cinema 4D with Cine Designer, and it would take me an hour to render one frame at 720. 1 hour. So now I'm doing it real time. Freaking puppeting the character is crazy. Getting the levity or heaviness of the hair. Is that a simulation thing? I think that's mostly an Unreal Engine. I'm only going to use it to demo your products, then hair available for illusion off the shelf for character creator, male or female. I don't know if anybody wants this hair because it's like this is experimental stuff in Unreal Engine. Like you're never gonna put this in like a real video game anytime soon, and you kind of need some like ridiculous hardware to run it at like a proper thing. So like I don't know if people need Grooms yet. That's why I'm making them, is because no one makes them. Like no one has them yet. If I tried Connect, I haven't. No, I'm not getting into the Azure stuff. I have to like pick my tech stack, and I like Vive. Like Vive everything. I just really like it. For multiple reasons. One being that Valve is the core tech, like the core company behind it. Valve's a pretty good company right now. They're doing pretty good things. They have a COVID-proof business model and they make hardware. It's a good partner. Indirect partner. Well, I guess I'm not indirect. They pay me. The people, how I make a living is Valve. Steam, so it's not indirect actually, but it's a little different. They have Steam VR and they keep that up to date. It works great. They make the index. They are the core tech behind the base stations and some other stuff that's gonna happen. And like, yeah. So I kind of pick it that way versus like who makes the Azure Connect. I don't know. Could be good. Could be bad. I'm kind of I'm very like I've been doing this a little bit, not in like super long time, but I'm a little hesitant of like startups that are like, yeah, we have a new tech that works great. I'm like, you're gonna be out of business though, in like in like, you know, one bad decision, and then I can't use your hardware anymore. I've had that happen to me multiple times. I'm looking more for like a stability in XR, which is very hard to do. This is not going to work like I want. Like that doesn't just happen. You have to do like 50 to make that over the ear thing work. But anyway. So I like stability. I like mass market products. I like things that I feel like will exist in a couple of years. So I'm not wasting my time as much. But that is kind of impossible to have in XR. Like things are just so fast moving. I don't know what to do with this one. Is this going over the ear? Like, that's what the Kurt Cobain thing. I just keep looking at the Kurt Cobain demo. I'll put it over here. Let's find out. This is more of a learn than like I'm going to use this asset. You know, none of these are final at this point. I don't feel like I've hit that finishing point level of quality yet. So, yeah, I haven't done one of these. You need to do... I saw Habib do this. It's like you have to have like 50 to have it properly like, interpolate hair over to hair under. Like, doesn't work out of the box. But I'm interested, like, what's that going to look like? So we'll kind of find out. Okay, so still, that's way too much space. So the hair's probably still going through her head. I'm going to pop one like I saw him do right here. Way too long. Scale it up. Man, I like these CV. I like this scaling. I like the painting tool here. It's all very controlled. By nature, you have, he did like this. He like put it like real down. I don't know about this little S curve that I have going on, but like by nature of the way that you have to select the curve individually to paint it means you don't have to be doing like the freeze and unfreeze workflow that I was doing with interactive Groom. This is just, it's great. She has no hair here. Oh, I was going to section this. Oh yeah, so I'm going to do the section thing next. Maybe one more pass and then I'm going to do a section map. See how bad this looks right now. Okay. Yeah, this lack of middle section here is definitely throwing it off. Like it needs a row there, and probably needs some more in between those. Like that's too wide, but it's getting there. Like if I take a peek and like try to see this as actual hair. Let's get rid of the view. I'm not gonna make it thinner, but look at the back is coming together, for sure. Another layer. And that back is starting to look like hair. Again, yeah, you need a lot more interpolation layers to have this over the ear thing looking right. But and again, with the dual part thing, you're not even going to see it, but it's kind of an experiment. But yeah, just more guides. You just reinforce the shape over and over again in the right places, and then you add noise over it, and this is going to be the hair for the day. And then I'm going to try a couple different... I have a couple new thoughts on simulating it in Unreal, and yeah. It's already looking more like hair than it is. It's still ugly, but yeah, this is how we do the hair. Where'd the guides go? Oh yeah, there's like no guides in here. You need so many more. The finals look insane. It's like you're gonna place hundreds for like a nice one. But yeah, I see how this works. I get it. I like XGen quite a bit. Would recommend. It's the best mocap device. Vive. Yeah, Smeagol, does it look like Smeagol? Yeah, it looks like something. I don't know. It's crazy, like, how bad it looks until the end. It's one of those processes. Like, it looks so terrifyingly terrible until you finish it. And it's like, oh, cool. That's great looking hair. Like, there's so many steps in between. Okay, so I know that we're going to need... I'm going to do this row. I skipped too far, so I'm going to do this row in between that one. And that'll start to bring the hair out of the head itself because it's interpolating from here to there and it's like just like straight through the head. So I gotta mellow out that interpolation basically. So here, let me look at the topology. It helps pick the spacings, not to be so odd looking. There we go. So boom, we'll stick one right here. Okay, so at least it knows what to do. So I'm not starting from scratch or having to copy paste. right? So it's interpolating a little bit into the head too much. So something like this. Right, so this one was close. That's like a good, it's good when you're, like the end parts when you're doing the finishing guides for it, you know, the hair basically knows where to go, so it's less completely defining from scratch what's happening. So we're approaching that phase for this middle part of the head anyway. I could probably at this point start to up the CV counts on some of this. Maybe I'm just going to give it a little bit more room up here. I could definitely like see like leaving a front ortho up the whole time, so you can always be looking at like the profile of the hair, like styling wise. But I think I'm going to be doing a lot of the actual grooming part with interactive groom, which is kind of fun. Then you start to move the hair around like it's hair. Now I'm wondering if this spacing is too sparse. Like I should go back and do like, I think it's too sparse. Yeah, I'm going to probably need to do more in there. I would say the other benefit of me personally doing this workflow, again, in the end, I think I'm just going to hire people or work with companies that do this way better. But someone wrote XGen, right? I'm pretty sure I could find their blog or their GitHub somewhere. Someone wrote this plugin because it's completely separate from from Maya, like originally, and Bifrost. So like someone wrote that, someone designed it. Oh shit, hey. Right, and someone designed this workflow and said that, hey, this is the workflow that like people should do to make hair. And so it was like the developer of Cinetracer, I kind of also judge this from like a workflow tools design point of view, like how, now this, I would never make a tool this complicated for Cinetracer, but you know, like there's things to take away from this from a tools design point of view as well. So I'm kind of multiple purposes of going through this entire workflow here, because I used to build plugins for Maya, and I know how Maya works on the inside, more or less. And that's how I was able to write Cinetracer. It's because I understand how to write Maya tools. I was like, oh, I'll just build them, just build the same tools in a video game. So maybe someday I have a hair tool. I have no idea. I kind of hope not. I'd rather have procedural hair generation in a video game context. It's like just pick a race, pick a general style, and just throw noise through it, you know, over the right parameters and procedurally generate hair. That would be more fun. Yeah, this is too sparse. That's not good either. Let's take a peek at what happens. But yeah, from a tools design point of view, XGen is definitely interesting. It's basically like interpolate between CVs over this grid, predefined grid. And then how you design a tool that makes it so that you can actually get good controllable results from an artist point of view. Okay, so like the main issue is this hair going through her head. So that's what I would like to fix mostly, but I should probably just keep doing the process. And I think I'm going to start to need hair in between those ones as well. PS5, Demon Souls. 100% Demon Souls, man. I never played the original Demon Souls. I played most of the Dark Souls and the Bloodborns, and I think that's where it ended, isn't it? Oh, and Sekiro. Yeah, Sekiro's like kind of different though. Mostly I watch Vadi and Epic Name Bro. Play them at this point, like time-wise. But I'll play the remake of Demon Souls. Looks like fun. I can't get through Last of Us 2. It's like too dark. It's too sad. It's cool though. It looks great. It's amazing what they can pull off on a PS4. Yeah, so like why is it going through her head? I think I guess you need this probably right here is probably no good right here, so right there. Like that's where I want to start to pull this out of her face mostly. Like, so what is it? I don't quite understand why that is. Maybe anyone there too. But I've already broken cadence, so I'm going to just go all the way around on that same level. I think the answer is just more guides is always the answer. It's just like you need to really hold its hand, tell it exactly how to do it. And the more change, like the more drastic the change in shape, the more likely it's going to, well, the more chance there is for it to interpolate it like hair through the face, basically. So you gotta, and I'm kind of learning that tolerance. Like when I first did this, I was like, I could probably define this whole head in like 12 guides, and that's off by a magnitude of like 10. So now I'm like, okay, there's probably going to be 100 guides at the end. And it's probably more like 200 or something like that. And that's where you have like the interactive groom style, because like I'm drawing these one by one because I like the control and I like to learn it this way. But I think I've seen a couple Blender people approach this and they're just throwing down like tons of like, you know, 5 times as much hair and then grooming them in sections. So like that's maybe like a more advanced way. Like when I understand the interpolation, I'll start to get a little bit more brave about dropping that much hair at once. But for right now, that overwhelms me. Like I don't, if I had any more than this, and I can't handle it at the moment. So this is a little shorter, which is probably okay. I'm mostly defining. I'm mostly at this point like I'm not even looking at the like the profile shapes of the hair, which is why everything looks so bad when I'm done. I'm mostly just like don't want errors of like hair through the head. Like most of the comments are like, "Oh, the haircut's ugly." I was like, "Yeah, but the hair didn't go through her face." Like that's all I'm looking to try to get done for now. It's like, does it look like hair? Success. That's where I'm at. Like, did you look at that and being like, that's not like, you know, straw? Or I mean, that's more of a shader thing. But like, if it appears like hair on this person's head, I have won. I have won the battle. A good-looking haircut, that may not ever be in my future. That might be always having to work with someone. Like, I can 3D model a human. I can't 3D model a good-looking human. So I can do hair. I'm not gonna make like a haircut you'd pay for. But I can make it, and I understand the tech stack for it. This probably needs to be closer to the head. Okay, so that's still not enough. I can still see it. I see how it's going to interpolate. So it's still not enough definition. And this is too sparse up here, so it's just more guides, more. Okay, so it's starting to go through her head less. And now I kind of regret these over-the-ear ones, but it was a test. So it's just the answer is just more guides. I'm going to just do like another pass over the top, this top layer, and just continue to pull the hair out of the head because it's in the head. That's the major error on that one. What's up, AK? Wouldn't you want to start forming follicles from the bottom? Yeah, I talked about that in the beginning. That's how some people do it. I think when you're doing such sparse hair placement like I'm doing, it doesn't really matter. But if you're doing like, say if you're placing down like 20 at a time, like I've seen people do, then you definitely want to think about like, do the bottom, freeze it, then do the middle, freeze it, do the top, freeze it, you know. But I'm doing them one at a time. So if we did an interactive groom style, which is how I started, I would definitely look at approaching it from the base up. And maybe like that's 100% how I should have done this, but I'm kind of still testing and trying things out. So that one went off into like nowhere land. Where are you, hair? There you are. So that's a red flag that like when I placed it there, it was like in the head, means that there's not enough definition. Like it was way off. So yeah, we just need more. And we'll see. My theory on this from one day ago was completely different than it is today, and I imagine by the end of the week my theory will have changed again. What hair am I doing? This is an outer hair, so this got to come up a little bit, and this needs to be scaled a little bit bigger. Yeah, like the more work you have to do to define it, the better like the ROI of the work, because like you can tell how far the computer was off, or the computer, whatever, like the definition was like needed this much correction, means like you're doing a lot of good work to fix it. That's how I think about it for now anyway. I'm like, oh, this is really fucked, so good, let's fix it, like a little bigger. And luckily I have like I'm gonna keep watching Habib's time lapses over and over again, just so I can kind of look at the density that he ends up with, you know, because I have no jumping off. I'll have his as like as a jumping off point of being like, okay, well he had like, you know, very, very dense guides to pull off that look. And I don't know if there's diminishing returns on it. I feel like there's not. I feel like if you could define every single hair by hand, it would look amazing, or it would look as you intended it. So the more you do, the better it looks, as long as you're shaping them correctly. I think that's probably the name of the game here. And then being good at the noise and clumping stuff is obviously like a skill set and a knowledge set. Even this is probably too much space in between them. Oh yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm adding spans or whatever. Adding like polygon resolution essentially. Houdini grooming is really good, I've heard. I have a full Houdini license. I just have never done hair in Houdini, so it's like it would have been 2 weeks of like learning Houdini hair instead of learning how to make, okay, where the hell is this? There it is. Like there's like, you know, it's a separate learning process. I just didn't feel like doing that today or this week. I wanted hair on the first day, and that's what I got using XGen. It wasn't good. Whereas like Houdini would probably take me like, I feel like it would just take me like a little longer. So I'm just impatient, but like Maya and ZBrush are kind of like the artist tools, and then like it's good to know these workflows. Like that's how you learn polygon modeling. Like I think it would be very hard to learn 3D modeling in Houdini first. So you learn how to box model, you learn how to like NURBS model, you learn how to subdiv model. And then when you get into Houdini, you're like, okay, well, I hate doing this by hand. How do I program it to be smart instead? So that's kind of how I look at this too right now. It's like, this is how you do it by hand, and it's very time consuming. So when I go to Houdini, it'll be like, okay, these are the pain points. Like this initial part here, I should be able to just do that as a, like write a Houdini tool for it instead. Or just ask Paul to write one and he could probably write it. So this is like the caveman way, and then the Houdini way is like the Elon Musk like super like the smart way of doing it. But requires a lot more investment time wise to get up and running, and to end up with an actual sculpt probably takes a little longer. But I heard the tools are really good. Haven't used them. I know Ted from Facebook wants me to get back on the Houdini train. Oh well, there's some stuff happening with Houdini that'll be quite topical eventually. But it's gonna like terrify a lot of people though. They're like, I'm like, cool, yeah, you could do this. You just have to learn Houdini. So just tear off a couple months of your life and start learning Houdini. That's what I did. Gonna put one here. Okay, that's good. That's like more or less the right place. That was good. All right, that one. So the back's pretty good. Like I think the back doesn't have like a lot of transitions in it or something like that. So like I think the back pretty much knows what to do. I mean, there's shaping, there's the artistic point of it, but from like a general like objective, is this the shape of the hair? Is the hair going through the head? I think we're good. Back of the head's pretty straightforward. Sides and front are like way more work. Okay, that's a very off profile. It's too much. Like, but I think the back of the head kind of knows what's going on at the moment. And I might delete these over the ear guides or just go for it. I don't know. I'm like in my head basically recreating what I saw Habib do for the Kurt Cobain. Oh, why do I keep placing the guides so far from the middle? They got to be here. And one of the tech tests of this is going to be doing the section maps after this. Where are you? You're flipped. Okay, so this one's way off. So we're doing good stuff here by fixing this one. That one's like way wrong. So that's why... So when it's that far off, that's how you get like inverted hair, essentially. Like it's going through her head instead of like falling down this way. So this is a good one to fix. Like we were just way, way off with that. Pull this noodle back in. Where are you? There you are. Yeah. It's close. Alright. XGen. Okay, it's too short. It's too short, so we're going to make it longer. Do you know what software for face rigging? Maya. 100% Maya. All professional rigging happens in Maya for animation in the film industry and animation industry. A little bit of Max too, but I still think it's like 80% Maya. Every fax demo I've seen is a Maya rig. There's like no question. I think it can be done in Blender. I've seen it, but I just industry-wise, I've not seen it. I've seen like random YouTube demos of like fax rigs in Blender, but probably can be done. But if you were going to try to get a job doing it or something like that, or like work with other artists, it's going to be Maya. Also, Unreal Engine has, I mean, they'll probably make arts. I used to follow the developer who wrote the art toolkit plugin on Twitter or something like that. So, someone could, I guess that's what Rigify is, but I have to relook into that workflow. Or not, and just do it in Maya and know that it works. That's the main thing. It's like, oh, let's go get Rigify. Let's go follow all the tutorials, see if it works, and then find out that it doesn't. It's like, okay, I want to go back to Maya. So I'm kind of just like skipping that step for now. I'm just being like, how about I just retarget everything in Motion Builder and know that that works? Like, versus being like, oh, we're so close. I wish that it would have it. I don't want to make that tweet. It's just like instead of the like, oh, I wish Blender could do it. I'm like, I just did it. In Mobu instead, and I actually got it done, actually shipped the thing, actually made the film, actually put the thing in Cinetracer, etc. And then just watch. Like, I need a couple core people to switch over to Blender, and then I'll spend even more time in there. But until that dude Casey on YouTube switches to Blender from Maya, which I see him making the videos about, is like, I'm not switching. Like, if that dude switches to Blender, then I'm like, okay, then it is the time. Okay, let's see where we're at with this thing. Oh, it's still through our head. Okay, so it's getting there though. Yeah, if I up the density, we would be close. So it's still through her head here, so like it needs definition right in between, and I remember saying that to myself. This behind the hair shit, I'm just going to delete those guides probably, or reshape them down. It's going to just take too much definition, but yeah, 100% this is getting there. Like, this is what I was expecting to see haircut wise, which is when I first started doing this. I was like, I'm going to go for this haircut, and it would come out completely like insane. I'd be like, okay, I need to keep working on this. So there's this middle area here just needs more definition so it doesn't go through her head. And then the sideburns, I'm gonna reshape this as just down burns. I'm not gonna do the over the ear thing. That's just gonna take too much work. So let me fix these sideburn ones here first. These guys, I'm just gonna do them again. The ear stuff is always, I mean, for this haircut it probably doesn't have to be, but from what I've seen, like for like dude haircuts, the sideburns is like almost a different groom. You just do it completely differently. Yeah, that's good enough for now. Let me get rid of this. Oh yeah, so there's a couple of things I need to test tech-wise. It's one, can I make multiple descriptions and merge them into one interactive groom? And then, so that's like merging multiple descriptions and bringing them in as one. So like say I did like eyebrows and, well, those need to get skinned differently, but like, say I did like bangs on this haircut completely separate as a separate description. Can I combine them into an interactive? Because I only want to bring in one groom into Unreal at a time. So here's some length discrepancies, but whatever. So, oh yeah, so there's a whole row missing here. And then because there's so much, I think the thought is that because this is such a big change in shape from flat being no change, this is a lot of change, this one. That's why it goes through the head. So like anything there's like a lot of curve, you need to do a lot of guides. So I still wouldn't say this is a lot of curves. Oh, did I not finish the rows? Yeah, anyway, anywhere there's a curve on the head, which is everywhere, you basically need to have like a ton of guides. A guide per span, per like reasonable change in shape. And this isn't even still trying to make it like look good. It's just like having it not be terrible. Like to see the Houdini way. Yeah, I'll do the Houdini one. Hey, you're paying for it any way you think of. You're paying it in either case. Like if you like the way the Houdini charges you money, that's great. If you like the way that Autodesk charges you money, that's great too. You're paying for it either way though. You're still gonna pay a maintenance fee. You're still gonna do it. I mean, either way you're paying, unless you go Blender, of course. I think if you're learning, the price matters a little bit more, but if you're actually doing, it doesn't matter all that much. But I could be wrong. Everyone's different. At this point, I don't care how much the software costs, except for the LiDAR software and those things. Those are insane. Like, If it's above 20,000 a year, that's not great. That's not ideal. But I think for the service that Adobe and Autodesk provide, it's fine. It's fine. It used to be so much more. It used to be so much more. But it depends where you're coming from, like career and price wise. I was lucky enough my parents bought me a full version of Max when I was in high school. I think that was like $4,000 or something like that. It was terrible. It was so slow. My computer was so bad I could barely even use it. There was no Blender. There was like Milkshake or something like that back then to do like 3D modeling. Like terrible. Oh. I found XGen to be, I shouldn't even say it, but like I found XGen to be fairly stable. I've had no issues so far with this. Like maybe like chucking a ton of modifiers in there would start to like introduce some issues, but I've just this guide shit's been fine. Yeah, so I have a couple things I need to test out still. Combining multiple things together. This back is just overkill. Like it's pretty much nailing the interpret curve already. Like I don't even need to, I didn't even like add much to this. But I mean, the more definition, the better. The length discrepancy is kind of an issue. I need to kind of like unify the lengths a little bit. Luckily, you can just scale them. But I need to try that, and I need to do the section map pretty soon. But I still don't have enough definition on the head to do a section map. I have it show up like nicely. Close though. So we have the project set up, and we're going to generate an if file, and then we're going to generate the ptext file, and that should do the sectioning. And I think at least Jesus said you need to, I feel kind of this very empty there, but like you need to add, you're supposed to put the default Lambert material on it, so I'll have to see if that's true or not. And that would explain why that didn't work the other day, is because this has like some Relusion shader on it or material, so it didn't like the ptext painting, but I don't know. I don't super enjoy the 3D painting tool in this, so it always like kind of makes me afraid, like when it just looks like it's from like the 80s, and I'm like, like what is this like? So hopefully it actually works today, and it's all my fault. It's just like didn't like it. Okay, this is a very empty area right here. This is very empty there. But that being said, it interpreted it perfect. I'm not even gonna change that. I'll just stick it there though. Let's do one here. So yeah, the back of the head's pretty much got it. Like, let's pull this up a little bit. But you know, if you're just dropping curves and they go where you think they should go, then you're done. Like that's pretty much it. And then after that, it becomes adding imperfections to it. Like once you have it perfect, then you fuck it up after. You try to make it look like real hair or something. Make it perfect and then stress the shit out of it. That one's pretty good too. Yeah, back of the head, we're pretty much hitting this. What would you do if you got bored while doing any projects? I move on to the next project. It is super tedious, 100%. CG hair is the definition of tedious. I mean, like, if you think about what it is, it's individual strands of hair. It's like the worst thing you can do. If you don't like, you know, like tedious 3D things. Like, I would say this or having to model a car to orthos is equally bad, which is what a lot of people start with. And it's like, you either have the mental fortitude and grit to model a car all the way through, like do the tires, the interiors, all the windows. Like, windows are hard. I think they're really hard to model. Tires, once you get the idea of like building a section and then like revolving it, are not that bad once you get the tricks. But like, it's just like, it's like a week and you get the hull. You know, it's like, it takes so long. And I don't like cars enough to get through it. Okay, that's pretty much it. I mean, that's pretty much what I want. I guess I'll pat this down a little bit. So hopefully after this pass, we really don't have as much hair through the head. That's the main one. Damn it, what did that do? Wrong button. Then I'm going to try the section map. I mean, that's pretty close too. I'm just going to add a bunch here now. Like, I really don't want to see hair through the head anymore. It's like discouraging. Like, so that just like the more you manually define the hair, the more the interpolation like works. Okay, so I'm gonna start to put like a lot here because I'm like, stop going through the head. Yeah, see, like that one's already starting to pull through the face, right? So it's like you gotta just like bring it up, and it might need even more like like all through here too. So I'm getting to like the arbitrary adding now. Like we're off the grid. We're just gonna start like adding hair. See, that one almost didn't go through the head though, or it's not going through the head. So I don't know why. I might need more inner ones or something. I don't know. Like at this point, I would expect this to not go through the head. But again, this is quite a violent change as far as violent in like a calculus kind of way, like this change here. So I guess it just needs maybe even more spans in between. I hope it doesn't need more like closer together. I can see this being still too sparse. So I'm gonna just keep throwing them in there like that. Yeah, that's a little off. So yeah, kind of keep fixing that. Man, I need hotkeys for this stuff. Yeah, that's off. Yeah, okay, I get it. So yeah, we need just more and more definition to help the interpolation out. Pull this away from the head. And I'm going to do a couple more on both sides. Yeah, it looks pretty bald up here, so we got to pop some more in here like this. Oh yeah, way off. Not way, I mean, off anyway. Yeah, we want it to be popped up a little bit like this. Okay, so we got to go in between all these two. So I'm just going to fill this in here. Boom. Yep, it's off. Yep, going through the head, I see. We just kind of lift these up. Now, the lengths, I'm kind of like adding a little bit of difference there, but I keep pulling away from the middle. I should be like dropping these almost right on the center. I don't know. I don't know how much of a pain in the ass that's going to be to change now. Where is it? Oh, okay. So that one's like way in the head. There we go. So we got one that's way off now. Like this is it. Yeah. Okay. So we want to find all those. I wouldn't have expected that piece to be so far off. I'm just going to put it through her ear because you're not going to see her ear in this final haircut. I think we're working 6 CVs too. I haven't even upped the CV count at all yet. And this is fairly long hair. There we go. Yeah, just going to keep that top shape going. So that's part of it. Yeah, cars are a pain. I can make a movie dolly or a movie crane. I can model every piece out because it's kind of fun and like I like kind of showing it later. Like it feels good. So I think if you like think the same way about cars, you're like, I love this car, and like at the end of the day, I made this car and I can have like a virtual version for myself. You know, gets you through it. I have that same thing for like movie equipment. I still haven't done it. I was going to do that, but then GDC got canceled. I was going to build a parametric movie stand creator in Houdini, where like I could basically take in parameters from any lighting stand manufacturer and procedurally generate the whole thing for Unreal. That's what I was going to make for GDC, but then GDC got canceled, so I never made it. But like that would be cool for me. Like all the tires get done, the casters are procedural, all the stems are procedural, the skeleton inside is procedural, and then you just type in the manufacturer specs, and it would do it. It would build it. And then at the minimum, I would use it to put them in Sinitracer. We'd have every stand in the industry to scale. I mean, it's something I have to do eventually. No real rush though. Like, yeah. So we need more. We're not done. I keep clicking here. I should be clicking here. Yeah, that's so far off. How could that possibly have thought it was that over there? That's so far off. Like, so we have issues. Yeah. So, okay. So I'm starting to have a suspicion that this gap here is really bad. This should be there. This should be there. This should be there. Fuck. Okay. So I'm going to move all those guides. The bases. It's pretty easy though. With the move tool. So I'm going to move those in a little bit, and that's my next suspicion of why the head looks kind of funny, like at the moment. Find out. I don't like having to shape it manually this much, but okay, this is too short now too. But oh no, it's okay, it's fine actually. Like, I need a Wacom tablet. There we go. I like these paint tools, man. Like whoever wrote this is like real clever. Like if I have to, like if I say I want to write this spline tool, I could write this spline tool runtime for Unreal. If I get better at the engine programming, I could write it as an engine tool too. Engine plugin. And it's good. Like it moves how I want it to. And I can't put that into words yet, but like it's clever. It's like IK between all these CVs essentially. And the little display bug outside. The display heat map over the CVs is nice and feels very responsive, and it's a good spline tool. this. Okay, so I hold control in middle mouse or control in left click. I think it's left click. Yeah, this is my suspicion now, is that you can't have like this much space between the head pieces. So I'm gonna have to kind of reshape the ends of these now. But like these need to be like almost touching each other is kind of my thought now, like here. And then we do the, what's gonna happen is it's gonna try to interpolate some weird shit over this bridge, and then we just tell it not to with the section map. So how badly did that fuck things on this? It looks okay. So I'm gonna section map. I think that's like kind of my next thought, like thing to try out. Oh man, it still looks like shit. There's no front part. Yeah. Okay. So this is still very undefined here. So this is unusable still. Like, what is with this hair going through her head? Damn it. It's just more definition. That's all that means. Just more curves. Gotta keep going with it. No, the humans from character creator, Revolution character creator. Yeah, Maya Indie looks like it's worth it. It's a hard line right now. It's like, oh, should I learn Maya or Blender? It's like, it's tough. It's a tough one. Like, specifically for oh yeah. So there's still not enough in between. That's why it's going through the head. And that being said, also I believe it's trying to define a whole bunch of stuff here. Okay, so I got to do section map and density map. That's one of the next steps here. Let's try the density. Let's try the section map. So let's save as in case I completely break this. Uh-oh. What happened to version 1? It completely defeats the purpose of iterating. Oh, there it is. What? Okay, whatever, fuck it. So, a section map, yeah. So that's in primitives, I think at the bottom. Region control. It's this. See if I can do this from memory. Where's the tool settings? Where are tool settings? Do I double click this? Yeah. Okay. So, okay, so this front head is throwing things off. So that's what the density map's going to go back and do in a second. I drew way too much. Way too much bathing cap here. So you use this. You don't fit. Well, I don't know. That's what he said. And so you do green, because yellow I won't be able to even see it. So I'm drawing right down the line of the, like this. I don't know if I need to go this far and do the whole thing, but it would make sense to do this. Yeah, the new Revolution topology makes this real nice and clean, because I can just be like, boom, right there. That's where that's the back of the hair now. Just call it that. So this is just sectioning. This isn't density mapping. This is just saying like, these curves only do this part of the head. Has nothing to do with the hairline. Okay. Looks like Harley Quinn now or something like that, like with this hat. Okay, so then where do you save this thing? Fuck. Where's the save tool? Oh, there it is, save, thank God. Okay, that's saved, and then you click save. Look at this UI. That's not it. Region control, save here. Did the thing. Then you hit 1. So that's a region map. That's the workflow I saw him do. Save again. Region mask is at 1. So what that should have done, so let me hide the guides. What that should do is make this part cleaner. There's not enough hair to really sense it. I guess I can start to, I'm not really like trying to look at the density yet, but that looks like it did what it's supposed to do. Like it'll stop it from interpolating this rainbow shit here. Still too thin. That's easy to fix. We just pump density, and it needs more curves to stop this going through her head and her eyes. It just needs more curves in between. This one's almost got it. And we're close-ish, you know, for how much I need. I basically just need this to not go through her eyes, and then I can start working on some other stuff. Oh, you know what it is the density map. It's because it's trying to put hair here, and I don't need hair there. Yeah, I'll just do bangs. I could do like a bangs other groom right there if I wanted to. So let's try to, I'm gonna try to get this density map going now. So that was a region map, section map. Guide animation, don't know what that does. Displacement, no idea. Calling, don't know. Density, where do you do the density map? Where is density? See length, width. I should do that. I'll do that after. That stuff's parametric, it doesn't matter. Like, region, is it culling? I don't think so. I'm gonna have to pull up his tutorial. Oh, density, here it is. Okay, here's density mask. So how do I add the mask? That's an expression. Create map. I'm gonna save. I think it's that though. I'm gonna save as. Save this. Save as. What happened to version 1? ASCII. Oh, it's a binary. The first one's a binary. Density mask. Yeah, let's do this. Okay, so we're gonna click make create map. Mask. I remember this. Hair. Well, not that I'm gonna do multiple characters in one Maya scene, but mark. Mask. Resolution 5. I don't know what that means. Create. Okay. So Jesus said you had to do you'd have to switch the material to Lambert. I think the new 2020 does it for you. That was from a long time ago. So okay, so here we go. So white is full density and black is presumably no density, right? So if I do gonna come back and paint the hairline. Definitely don't want hair here. I can see that definitely throwing it off. So I'm gonna go feathered, yeah? I mean like immediately, like still not enough. Where's the feather about? Flood, texture, radius. Where is the feather-ishness of this? Maybe that'll work. Yeah, okay, this is was definitely thrown it, so we don't want hair here. Let's turn off the actual hair. This is a weird hairline, so this is still more of a tech test to see if this works. But yeah, so this will probably help it pull off of the head, I hope. The hair out of the head is because it was trying to put hair, it was trying to interpolate hair all the way up here, and we just don't have guides for it, so it's like, let me just put this hair through your face. Now, did I do that, or is this a UV thing? It's a UV thing. I could just unwrap this hair cap. Is that really what's happening? Or did I paint through or something? I think hopefully I just painted through. I didn't. Nope. What's that? There's no way this head cap has overlapping UVs. It just seems like not possible. Like, this part doesn't matter back here. I mean, I'm never gonna really see it. I hope I just painted through is what happened. Okay, so we're gonna do black. This seems to be working fine. Was it B, right? Seems fine to start. Maybe paint back a little bit more there. I'd have to look at how someone really does this, but whatever, this is the idea. Okay, let's just try that. Okay, so save as if, and then save as ptex. Yeah, so it's probably not spawning them there now, and I just need to put some guides here and here so it's not so broken, and then puff up that top bar. So I think that did it. Cool, so that's density mask, and that was also section mapping, section masks. So I've leveled up. I used to have, when I Twitch streamed, a success thing. I don't have that. So it just needs more guides, and then I can do I can do like tapering and modifiers. And what time is it? I got lots of stuff coming in the mail today. How long has this been going? I don't even know. Oh, almost 2 hours. Okay, word. That's cool. It's cool to be able to do a groom in 2. There'll probably be 3 to really get this done. Okay, so let's hop back in it. Guides. No hair. Okay, yeah. Okay, so like we need something. Oh, let me look at this again. I'm going to hide the face. So it's going to look terrifying for a hot second. If you move this outliner, it breaks everything. The whole UI explodes. So don't do that. Or at least that's what happened to me. Okay, so I need something. So I've done myself a disservice by having so much topology here. Whereas if this would all work fine if I just deleted all of this. But I did it with the kind of the density mask now. I don't really want to define these shapes, but I kind of have to. I would rather that be a separate groom for like bangs. I need to do with this front row. I'm going to bring it up 2 spans. Hopefully that does it. No, it's not ready for Unreal. Not at all. Not at all. Like the Unreal workflow, I know that. Like that works fine. I know how to do it. I still need to get the hair to be better looking. But yeah, it's gonna. I'll go back to Unreal in a second. Well, half an hour maybe. More guides. So we got to go front row here. I don't really know what creative direction I'm going to go with this, but guess we can do a little front bang situation here. So I'm just going to do a little bit more front definition, and then yeah, maybe I'll start to call it, because again, this is not like a final. I'm not going to like do anything like production-y with this. So this should help to define this front part here. But I would want to do this as a separate section, because I would want like this front area to be like have less hair in it, you know, than like this is like pretty thick, and then this front part's kind of lighter. But I can just delete these guides if I hate how what this does to the sculpt. I don't know. But this is definitely the best one I've done so far, I think. Like as far as like an actually looking like a haircut. It's getting there. And I definitely didn't do section maps. I didn't do density maps before. And now I know a little bit more about how to do expression-based flyaways and stuff like that. So this feels awkward there. Yeah, the clump of noise, yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, it all looks like ridiculous until you start to add that stuff on top of it. And then the flyaways just look... It's like the chromatic aberration of like compositing. It's just like you just do too much of it, and it's just like, wow, look at the flyaways. Like if you're trying to make like that tech demo, it's all about the flyaways. People are like, oh my god, it's real hair. Like, and that's what I want. I mean, that's honestly the impression I want to give. So I'm not going to write expression-based flyaways. I'm just going to do groom flyaways after this. But yeah, you just grab like individual hairs and just pull them out. Looks amazing. And then they catch the backlight in Unreal. That's the whole idea. Oh yeah, and the melanin shader. Yeah, this is a pretty multi-step process, but I feel like I've gotten like 60% of it down at this point. Like I kind of understand how it would scale, how long it would take. Like someone who's really good at this would probably give them 2 days to do a full sculpt, right? Like if they did it full time, full hair sculpt with like 1 revision or something like that, it'd be like, let's do 2 days. I'm concerned about how that interpolation is going to go. Guess there's only one way to find out. Oh yeah, I don't like it. But it's not the worst. It's not the worst at all. Like, I wasn't planning on putting it this far into her eyes. Okay, so this is like unfortunately like a thing from like way back. Is like I defined the hair cap is just too big. So I could probably density map like yeah, I don't like this at all. I don't want this much hair in her face. But I kind of defined too much forehead, so. It was a decision I made early on, just kind of didn't work out for me. Like really, I'm gonna play it way back. I remember making the call. I was like, let's get to build a big hair cap, and now I'm gonna do a more accurate one next time. Like this just looks bad. I don't like it. Pop one here. That's actually more or less where I wanted it. And how about like, okay, we got to do the same thing like here. Yeah, way off, right? So that going through her head tells you why it's broken. That's where the sculpt is breaking, is because like, if you drop an interp. You drop one of these in here and it's like through the face? It's wrong. So yeah, it was the front part. The front's hard. So I'm gonna have my strategy eventually. And like, I am gonna standardize to the Relusion topology. So like eventually I'll have like an opinion. I was like, is today about this one? Or this? Like I'll know eventually. Make a YouTube video about like where do you place the hair cap on the row. Semi have my opinion already, but I'm not. I don't think I'll make that video. I don't know how many people are gonna actually go sculpt hair. You're gonna have to though. You cannot buy this hair anywhere yet. Not that I've seen. If I could, I would buy it instead of this. But I jump in and get the hands dirty where they need to. This is the C++ of character art right here. Of like, this is the Unreal Engine plugin C++ of character art. Just having to do this. I guess actually doing actual plugins would be even worse. Rigging. I take it back. Rigging in Python and Mel is the actual C++ of character art. That's not fun. Or it's not easy. And at the end of the day, you end up with a UI that retargets for you. Not that many people understand it. Or care. Hair time. Yeah, I'm reaching my patience limit with this anyway. But it's definitely like clear. For me, it feels like progression and doing hair, so I like that. But I'm like kind of bored now. I'm like, I want to finish you up and have the hair not go through your head, but it's going to still for sure. Like, probably. Yeah. In a way, I've made it worse. But a couple more here, and let's have it not go through her head. Here and here should start to clean this up. And I'll pull them back. We're getting there. Getting there. One issue with Maya density mask is black is not full black. Oh wow, that sucks. That makes it way worse if I have to go back to Photoshop. That's good to know. I need to basically like click somewhere and it's like right through her face, and then I know I've found the spot. There it is. I defined way too much hair in the front. Or maybe, I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know what I was thinking with that. So like, if you click there and it's like through her face, we found the problem area. But I don't know if I want hair to spawn this far down her head. I guess I do. I don't know. That's the issue right there. We found it. One of them. So I don't know what this haircut's become. So now I've lost control of what I was originally wanting. And I think it came down to the fact that I chose poorly how much hair cap I wanted. So I got to be... Wasn't working from reference, and so I think I'm having the issues with that now. I'm gonna give this like a little bit of like, oh the forward, yeah, okay. No, that's annoying. Like, okay, so guessing I'm gonna actually move that more towards the center because this is a center part haircut. Yeah, so I'm gonna control this to here and then fix it again. I feel like I'm on like the final bits of this though for the guides anyway. You could guide for another 6 hours and it would come out even better, but that won't actually prove anything to me. So next I'm going to jump into the modifiers, clump it up, and then convert to a groom, and then I'll bring it to Unreal. And I have kind of like a feeling on what Unreal likes and doesn't like as far as crashing. It's pretty stable in my opinion. There's like a certain physics tweaks if you're running it doesn't like, and if you have it bound to a skeleton you can't scale it, and that kind of makes sense. And you know, just got a couple little things like that, and overall I haven't had any issues with the groom. Like, I feel like I could ship it. I haven't packaged it yet, but soon enough. Test it for Cinetracer. So this doesn't have any here. I bet you right there is all effed up too, but let's check it out. Okay, this part looks gross, but if I open the density up, it might help a little bit. I got 2 more, and then I'm gonna go to modifiers. 2 more. Here. Nope, that one's pretty good actually. Here. Here. No, okay. Well, that's fine too. These are pretty good. So we're not going through the head as much. And you know what I don't like is that this one, I see it, yeah. I need to Oh, and that one's through the head. Okay, I see. It's more fixing than adding at this point. Like, I mean, like, adding could be good too, but this, just get it off of the head. Oh, I really broke the bottom of it, but... Yeah. Okay, yeah. And this is awkward, that no space there, but this one... Put one there. Yeah, yeah, just give that one a lift and it'll help all the rest of them out. Ooh, yeah, through the head. There we go. Okay. Alright, just help that out a little bit there. And then one like here, and I hope that's kind of it. Like, as long as it isn't like just going through the head, it's fine at this point. And I kind of know that if I just kept going and kept going, adding more and more and more and more, and just literally just defining it out. Yeah, yeah, so this needs a little lift. That's what I was kind of expecting here. You just define and define and define and define until you've basically kind of drawn almost every hair. And then you get the shape you want. Because you've drawn it the shape by hand, literally. Okay. Yeah, so that's probably it. Let's take a peek. It's kind of gross. The middle part's kind of gross, but maybe if I add density to it, it won't be so bad. Okay, so hide the guide. So let's do some, not tweaking, right? It's just thin. So let's jump this up to 15. I didn't do very much. How about 25? Looks pretty good. 20. We'll do 20. Length is 1. Width ramp, we'll do this into this. Nope. Why is this UI so large? It's pretty good. Where's overall width here? So we're at 0.1, so 0.01 is little thin, little 0.02. And then this ramping is a little aggressive. No, don't make a new one, no. Okay. And then, of course, density is like at 1. It should be at like 10. Something like that. How come it's like selected blue right now? Why is it blue? Why is the hair blue? I want you to be the shader color. Is it selected? Why is the hair blue? It's like it's selected. I can't see it. I mean, I can sort of sense it. But why is the hair blue? I'm gonna save and come back. Why is the hair blue? Oh, wireframe. Ah, thank you. Thank you. Correct. Ah, very good. Thank you. Did I turn on lighting or something? I'll just stay in gray frame, I guess. Yeah, this part's garbage, but you know, it's a part. You know, I'm gonna leave it. I can kind of fluff it up a little bit, and it's interactive. The back, of course, is just not defined correctly, but it still looks like hair. That's all I care about. And we have a side part, so there it is. That's a side part, double side part, hair. It could definitely do work on the bottom. It could be happening in the guides. It could happen in the trim and in the groom. Like either way, you know, you'd go back and add like a new groom over it and do like one that goes in the face, one that's, you know, like little ones. I might do that as a groom though, as a interactive groom. But you could do it as a separate sculpt too. I'm not gonna do the merging two together. I don't have like the mental capacity at the moment to do it. So I'm gonna start to do the first clumpings. Yeah, so you're gonna make a map, and so we'll start the first clump at 1 density, generate. It's fine. So what you do, I could do clumping in interactive as well. I kind of like the interactive clumping better, but now where did that map go that I just made? Where's the clump map? This, setup maps. So if I do 0.1, they get bigger. That didn't do what I thought I was gonna do. Oh, generate, then save. There they are. So those are big clumps. Yeah, those are the big ones. At 0.1 clump. Thins it a lot. I can add more, I guess. It turns into like anime hair. But that's kind of what I was thinking. And then we're at a single clump. I can bring the end. Oh, damn it. I always do that. So like this. So that's a 0.1. It's pretty good. I'm not going to do the expression like frizz to the middle or anything like that. I'm just going to try to keep this simple. I could probably go work on this haircut and then do all the stuff you do to hair to make it look realistic. I'm just trying to get like a basic still though. Okay, so I'm going to add another. Can I name this? Whatever, screw it. Add another clump. Now, I forget the order of operations on this one. I think the bottom one's first. It goes bottom up. I don't remember. And then I do... Oh, it's down here, setup maps. So that one was at 0.5, was 0.1, I think. So I would do 0.5. Right, so that's kind of small still. So I'm going to go back and do 0.25, generate, save. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So I can't tell which one's happening first. You want to do the big one, then the little one. And I don't know if this is doing that at all. Shit. Can I undo that? I can't grab these little handles. There we go. Okay. Oh, that's how you do that. Okay. So like which one's going first? I can't tell. But that's a cool effect. I think I'm fucking this thing up. Oh, I changed the wrong one. Damn it. That's why I wanted to name them. That's gonna be a delete and start over because I'm lost. Well, these have been lovely. Goodbye. Thank God this is... I was gonna say non-destructive, but then shit looks crazy. What happened to this? What's this shit? Hopefully when I put it back it's better. Big to small. Yeah, I just didn't know which one was firing first. I feel like I broke this. Have I... I bet if I regen it, yeah, like if I do this. There we go, thank God. I was like, this should be procedural. I should not have to worry about it, stuff like that. Okay. No big deal. So set up maps. Let's start with the big one, which is 0.1 for this sculpt. Generate. Okay, please let me name you. Can you not name these? You can't name. Okay, well this is the big one. Clump 1 is the big one. I gotta figure out the order of operations. God damn it. Yeah, okay. Let's not do so much. Oh, is that what broke it? I see. That's interesting. Okay, so I would have thought... Okay, we'll leave it at 0.5. That's what made it look so weird. Okay, so those are the big clumps. Bottom to top. Okay, so that means we want to put the small one above it. Right? And that's what it does automatically. Okay, cool. So how come you even have a density map to work with? You shouldn't, like, at this point, really. So, like, we'll do, like, 0.2... I'll do 0.3. I'll do 0.4. Make them small. Generate, save. So this is the small one at the top now. Damn it. And so those are the sub... Those are, like, the sub clumps. Yeah, I see that. Okay, cool. We are sub clumping. We even got the kind of, like, wispy flyaway here. That's kind of cool. Left is root, right is... Oh, I see. Yeah. But I thought that if I put it... When I put the root at 1, it got crazy. So 0.5 is doing nothing. Where 0 is making it smaller and 1 is making it bigger. So it's normalized with 0.5 as the middle. which is not what I was thinking. I thought it was normal would be at the top, but you can basically unclump it, which is not the behavior I was expecting from it. Okay. I'm not that concerned with like curling it or anything like that, but let me look at curl on this smaller one. Now let's curl the big one. Right, so curl effect is we'll do a 1 to look at. Curl 1, and then we'll curl the root a little bit. Or I'm sorry, the tip. Sure, you know, it's just something. Like, it's a little thin here, so I'm gonna have to pump the density a little bit. I really don't like having to do textures for the under hair. I know it probably makes it look a lot better, and everyone does, but I'm trying to like not do that out of laziness and reusability. I shouldn't be able to select that. Is this frozen? I shouldn't be able to select this. What am I in some like weird mode here? But anyway, okay. So it's big clump, little clump, and then let's do noise. Is it called noise here? I know in Blender they call it like randomness or something like that. Noise, there it is. Okay. So I don't like how these aren't sliders. Can you click them like it's a mel thing and like do control dragging? You can't. Okay, so you gotta like type them in. That's rough. .2 for magnitude and frequency. It's fine, 0.5. Just a little bit of noise. I'm not going to do middle noise or anything like that, or edge cut or anything. It could definitely use a little bit of that edge cut stuff, but it was an expression. I really don't want to go write the expressions for it. I don't know how much of this stuff actually translates into Unreal Engine either. Like I haven't like tested. Like, does this stuff even actually make it into Unreal? I'm not sure. Could possibly. Anyway, that's pretty close. So I'm going to pump up this density a little bit, like that. It's gonna be an expensive Unreal Engine run to go to 38. Wow. Just make it 40 so I know what to come back to. So we'll do 30 if this is too heavy for Unreal. So yeah, there's a haircut. So let's save as. I'm going to do an interactive groom conversion, and then I'm going to do little flyaways, and then alembic it out of here. So save as 5. Okay. So let's convert this. You grab the top, I believe, the top level description. And you do generate, convert to interactive groom. I don't know what the prefix thing is. Okay, dokie. And then we hide the old groom. This is now the interactive one. And we switch to interactive groom. There it is. No, it's condensed, which is great, but we're gonna mess with it. So we saved, this is 5 already, saving it again. And I'm going to add a sculpt layer. So we're going to have to recompress this later, and we're going to freeze this whole thing to start. That's not it. This is it. So we're going to freeze all the hair. This tool, you kind of need to hide the head sometimes to get to the inside of the hairs, because it's kind of like occlusion selection based, but it kind of works. So I'm going to do flyaways by hand, because I don't know. It works for me. And yeah, so are we still freezing? Freeze brush. Let's drop this down, and I'm gonna take like this hair, like that. And I'm gonna comb that in front of her face. So comb, and this is non-destructive grooming, which is awesome. Layer-based painting grooming. Oof, that's a lot. We'll smooth it after, but just kind of like break this up. Just to give like another kind of like strandy element. Now that's gross looking, so I could just undo that completely, or let me see if smooth helps me out. Nope. Okay, so this is a bad one. This is bad. We've done bad. So you can blend it out, like if some of it's good or it's all bad. So we don't touch the root. That's the lesson here. So I'm gonna just add a sculpt layer and delete. I still like that selection, but I'm just gonna delete it, whatever, fuck it. So, oh, we still have the selection, great. Okay, so now I'm gonna do comb, or grab, to be honest, but I'm going to do a huge brush like this and try to stay away from the root and just go like I like that one little flyaway that kind of happened there. And then down here, that's way too much curl into the face. But this is the fun part. I think it's like what most people get into like hair sculpting for is like those little styly bits that you can do here. And I'm going to fly through it. But yeah, so I hate this like one flyaway here, but I might leave it just like, I can feather this back, like something like this. Okay, so say that's the first part of it. And I like, okay, how come it's touching that top part so much? Maybe I'll drop the radius down a little bit. Huh. I don't like this. That's gross. It looks like broken doll hair. Okay, next attempt. I'm gonna delete this one. The reason you switch to interactive groom, because I like these. I like the freeze tool, and you can just do some more stuff in here. Like when you're moving individual strands of hair, I like doing that here. Damn, that really breaks it up there. Okay, so this selection's no good. Like this gets all frizzy and crazy. Like I don't like that at all, and I don't believe I can smooth it out. Like this looks crazy, like it's stretched. So I'm gonna just not do this. So mostly for freezing is the reason I like the interactive. So just freeze that back up. I'm just not gonna touch that part. Okay, so well, I don't know exactly how I would fix that in the future, but okay, I'm gonna grab this section here. It does kind of split off, so this might look weird, but it's got a big old comb brush. Bow. So we're art directing the flyaways in this one, which is like, oh no, it's back to, it's actually fine. Like it's just kind of like random, like, you know, like fluff this out, make it look like hair. Yeah, there we go. There it is. There's a good one. Right, and so you can write an expression that kind of does this, but I think that's, I don't know. If there was any fun part of this would be it. Is like the styling. We'll clump the ends together. Maybe. That's not at all what I was expecting to happen, but oh yeah, there we go. It did it. There it is. And then I'm gonna comb it back out. I feel as if I'm gonna undo all of this. Oh yeah, so I did it too much. Yeah. Okay. So undo. And you know, I'll just stay away from I'm gonna stay away from the clumping from here. So there's our first strand / flyaway. Flyaway is like one hair. It's like frizzing at the edges. So it looks good sometimes. It looks kind of bad others. So it's something I'm still learning about. Is like best flyaway practice. So we're more just doing like breakup. I would say like strand breakup. Or else it looks like a helmet, especially from the distance. Helmet of hair. You gotta kind of break up the this anisotropic reflection that's gonna happen here. You want to kind of break that up, like in my opinion. And I'm gonna try to do multiple at once. It's so hard to do this randomly. I ended up just like doing it like too perfectly, like too much like a pattern. But this is like again the aesthetic part of it. There's no rules for this bit. Just gonna do it. There's the hair coming out. Right, this looks like she dyed like little strands of her hair because it's going to be so even. That's the thing. Like, so that's probably where like the procedural noise kind of helps a little bit. But I just want to like break up this reflection that's going to happen here. And so this is more or less the quality I had it yesterday, and it doesn't look all that great. It looks very symmetrical, and should probably just take more time. Right, and so this is the part. I mean, the guides could be half a day, and then this could be like a year, like or like a week of like doing this over and over again. But the best part is I don't have to convert this to cards. Like converting it to cards is always so sad after because the cards look so bad. Like keeping it as actual strands of hair is like Unreal Engine will render that one strand of hair. It's crazy. Okay, so there's that. That's a tiny bit of breakup. It's not very much, but I'm gonna add another sculpt layer now and just attack this head, like no freezing, just like freestyle it. So unfreeze all. And so now, oh no, I'm combing, yeah? So we're gonna comb, and now I can just like, oh, that was way too much. Okay, I'm gonna pull the strength down a lot. Oh, it's still way too much. Okay, maybe this brush is just like way overkill. Okay, so I'm gonna bring this down. So now it's like I can just grab this. Oh God, that's so bad. Why? That's why I need a Wacom tablet. You know, like, did I break this? Did I break that back there by doing this already? Oh no, that's the. So, it's all in. Oh, here we go. Wrong layer. First of all, it's all layers. I can just delete all of it if I hate it. Oh, you know why this is popping up crazy like this? It's because of collisions is on, which is actually fine. This has a collision of 0.6, so it'll move all the hair that's like 0.6 from 0.6 centimeters, I'm assuming, from the skull, from the capture, the skull cap. It just pops them up 0.6, so it makes it like a minimum value. Then I can smooth this a little bit, like that is a bad angle to check smoothing. This smoothing is like crazy high. I'm gonna probably kill this layer. Oh, strength is super high. So high. I need a Wacom tab so I can just like barely touch it. Like this clicking is like hitting it with the full value. I've done bad here. So I'll just do a little bit of this one. And like I kind of like that little puff up. So just a little bit. So we kind of feather them in like that. And so this goes on forever. Like you just do like one strand of hair at a time. I do want to have some actual flyaways if possible. I guess that's where the noise kind of comes in nicely. Look at the anime hair back here. I just need like a little frizz on top of it. So I'm gonna add. Oh, you do noise maps. That's what it is. That's the other way of doing it. Is you do a noise with a very low density. Let me see if I can do that here, because I don't feel like going back to regular one. I don't know if you can go back to classic. I think you can, but I think you lose some of the like the little flyaways. You can convert these to like curves and then have XGen Core import those curves, but I think you lose like the little groomy things that we're doing. Like I see this as like a finishing pass, you know, and I don't think you can go back. Now, should I pull her ear? See, here's the thing is like, oh, you think the hair is going to look like this. Not when you do physics in Unreal Engine though. Then the hair goes like, falls down and it's completely different. And then you have to fix the collision capsules in the head and just a lot more happens. This is still just like the video game stuff. What was I going to do? Oh yeah, so I'm going to try to add a noise here. After this, see, it evaluates it the other way around, I believe. Here, like it's top and then bottom, I think. Anyway, so let's try. Right, so if you make the magnitude crazy, right, and the frequency really low, and then you mask it, or its density is quite low, like this, only like a couple of hairs. Now, how would I paint the mask of this? Like this is a procedural flyaway. You would do this, but to like 10 hairs or 50 hairs, right? And you would go even higher on the magnitude, like 20, 40, even lower on frequency. You would do that to only a couple hairs. Like that's the, but I don't know how to do that. Mask. What kind of masks is this going to draw? What is this? I'm going to save and click that mask button. I have no idea what's going to happen. I don't know the interactive as well. But these two XGen systems are like excellent. I don't even feel like I need the plugins. Again, I haven't done braids or anything like super insane yet, but like I could get like a lot of hairs done like this way. And like this looks pretty good. I mean, like I didn't style it at all. And it's like, that's hair. Like video game hair is hard to find anyway that looks good. So like this is honestly like, I mean, I think like 60% of like what most of them are out there on the marketplaces. I was gonna try to mask this shit. So what happened to, oh yeah, here's mask. Okay, so right, so I want that, but just for like a couple hairs. So what does this do? What's this button here? Mask. Oof, okay. You're gonna put it into the scene folder? This ain't it. This ain't it. This is not what I want. I need a Houdini node that just does like a select, basically. This is not it. This is going to be UV based. It's going to do it like per section. This is like a section mask. I don't want that. So how could I segment this? I need to select. basically. I want to run this over like a couple hairs. I freeze it. That's how I do it. Can I freeze this? That's how I'm gonna do this. Okay, I'm gonna freeze and then run that modifier over it. Can you do that? I don't know if you can do that. Right, so then I'm gonna select. It's painting through. Look at this blue hair. Then I'm going to unfreeze kind of just some like random. I do it so evenly, it always looks like a bad pattern. So I can't stop myself from selecting evenly. Okay, so that's way too much, even like. I should just like not even look and just like start selecting hairs. That's the whole point of like. Okay, so now, am I masking this? No, I'm not, right? So if I use the noise brush though, yeah, like. Is there a noise brush? There is. There's noise brush. Okay, what were the settings? I need to do this on a sculpt first of all. So I'm going to sculpt I'm going to sculpt the flyaways this way. This makes sense, I think, now. So this one on this layer. What did I say? You might need some procedural noise as a mask. Yeah, I've seen people do that. I haven't done that yet either. I think you can do selection by that too. I need to look at the tutorials. So we did something like 40 and 0.01. So I'll copy that. And we're still on the tool for noise. 40.01. Now there's global and there's local. And there's invert frozen effect. So let's go like big brush. Whoa, yeah, that's it. That's 100% it. Okay, so like. Yeah, this is fine for me, and it's like a little bit more like hand art directed, right? So that's kind of I kind of want to frizz the bottoms more, like it does like the whole hair. But there it is. So there's some like random ugly flyaways. I wouldn't say like that's the best art direction, but then you just feather this down, like that. I'll take it. That's it. It's some flyaways. It's not the best looking, but like it shows the execution of it. And damn it, it's in her hair right there. So let me grab like a grab tool. I mean, it's in her face. There we go. Yeah, grab with a little bit of what's it called? Collision, just pops it right out of the face there. So there, I'm gonna call that it. That's the hair for today. So that's way more nuance and such that I've done compared to before. And why is it blue? Oh, because it's frozen. Yeah. So let me unfreeze. There's hair. Right? And I kind of know that if I spent more time doing guides and I spent more time doing the sub clumps and I spent more time with the actual grooming part, it would look even nicer. An even nicer haircut. I wonder if I should pull this away from her ear. I can do that as a sculpt layer. This workflow is awesome. Like it's like I just fuck around. If I don't like it, I just delete it off the layer, or I grab, or I feather it. Excellent. Oof, that's not the way. Okay, I might not be able to. This is something you would do on the what's it called? It's gotta get there. I probably would do that on the curves. That does it too. It's gonna make a funny shape. And then with this groom tool, you could also kind of like just move it around so it looks actually good, like style wise. But that's not what I'm fully after today. I just wanted to look like hair. So that'd be looking like hair right there. Okay, so workflow back to Unreal. So that's the situation. So we're gonna grab the head. Oh, it's on a ref layer. Hold on. So now I can select it. So we are going to transfer now and collapse this hair stack because Unreal doesn't like the Maya hair stack. Makes sense. This, nope. This, control click that and transfer. Let it think. There's the good description here. That's it. That's the collapsed hair. Now, are there two on top of each other? Is that what's happening? Yeah, but they kind of don't. It kind of doesn't matter. Over live link, I don't think so. I wouldn't want to either, to be honest. It's so like temperamental. I would not want to add another other temperamental system on top of it. But maybe. That would be kind of cool. I see what you're saying, like doing the modifiers and then immediately seeing it. Yeah, there's value in that for sure. I haven't tried that. You're right. That would be kind of cool for look dev. I feel like that would also be like Crash Fest, like Crash Fest 2020 if I tried that. But I could see that. You're right for doing look dev. So we export the cache, and I have a folder for it. I thought I had a folder for it. There they are. UE4. You got to make sure the right final width is on. Current frame. Export. That's it. Tiny file. I thought these grooms were going to be huge. My mistake. They're tiny. Absolutely tiny. Okay, so that's a groom in like whatever 2 hours. Could be better. Let me switch to this while I go load up Unreal Engine. We'll go import it and look at it. This might like freeze a little bit. This stuff's pretty heavy. What's up, Hans? How's it going? What's up, Bree? Yeah, it's not quite a tutorial yet because I don't really know. But I feel like I have 60% of this workflow like understood. There's a lot more nuance that you can script. There's a lot more expression-based stuff that you can do to add like, you know, the extra 5% of like kind of like roughness. And then there's more difficult hairstyles. There's going to be shorter or easier. But I haven't done like hair that's like coming down and has like curls, like curly hair that looks nice. That's not just like frizz out. Like, you know, a big frizzy haircut's not too bad. And then there's just other ethnicity haircuts that I haven't even attempted yet. Basically non-straight haircuts are going to be a little harder. Okay. So, yeah. So I said this yesterday, but like these animations don't retarget so well onto her body. And I could all I have to do is go change the base pose and bring her arms up, but for the moment she has no arms. They're in her body, so oh well. That's not what we're here for. I got plenty. I can do animation. I'll go make my own animations at this point. So the grooms, they're in here. I've made a bunch. Made a whole bunch. Sequencer and grooms with physics don't like each other. Don't do it. Every time you do a pre-process step, the physics runs, so the hair looks insane. So you can't use sequencer if you're doing pre-processing for anti-aliasing. And anti-aliasing on XGen hair is also a little bit more AE artifacty, and the motion blur, deferred motion blur, also does not look good. From my initial tests, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm not even attempting that anymore. So don't do any of that shit. 4. These are the Maya rotation offsets that you have to hit: -90, 0, 180, or else it doesn't work. Doesn't work very well. Blender cycles works. I have no idea. Like I said, Blender is great, but I'm not the one who's gonna forge the path and find out the workflows. Oof, looks like. Okay, so this happens sometimes where like the hair doesn't come in at the right height. It's a height. So it's different than I was expecting it to look. Other than the height, I can fix that. Like, but like, yeah, this is where the live link would come in, where you'd be like, "What? No, we're not even in the right hairline, right?" So like, not what I wanted. It's still not what I wanted. I went too far on the main clumps. And it's not sitting on the head correctly. In my opinion, like, it doesn't look good. And so it's half technical, half aesthetic, like. But let's see how it looks like moving. Oh yeah, so we'll do the physics tweaking right now. So you just open it up, and it's a little crash fest if you're running it and doing this, but you can. Again, this wide angle never helps anybody, so you want to check this stuff on telephoto lens, in my opinion, more telephoto. So if we turn physics on, I'm back on full screen. You can see it, right? Okay. So if I turn this on, boom, the hair kind of settles, right? So that's video game hair, physics hair. I probably shouldn't. It's gonna crash. You shouldn't do it so much that it crashes. Okay, so there's a... Don't do that. Make up your fucking mind when you're doing it. Sometimes that crashes OBS too. It hasn't yet. Because it's a DirectX 12 crash. So just make up your mind, physics on or off. I get that. I can respect that. At least it's there. The hairline's like so bad. So bad. We're not done. I think it's 04. Try to save. Yeah, physics is hard and it's, you know, it's experimental. So anyway, physics on. Oh, is it gonna crash now too? That's interesting. Okay, this is gonna break my OBS fairly soon. I don't know why. I mean, just turning it on is usually stable. I am running OBS NVENC, so I am using a little bit of GPU memory, and maybe it doesn't like that. Most people probably don't do hair sculpts while they're streaming. It's heavy enough on your computer, but I'll try it one more time, not through the perspective view. But otherwise, we got the hair back in, and you know it doesn't look good. But it's yeah. Is my computer dying right now? Oh no, it doesn't like that. It's a Groom. You have to turn on a plugin, so it's considered its own. Yeah, it's its own data type. Like it's this. They're called Grooms. It's called Groom. Okay, so we are not in the you know what? Let me do this. Let me unbind it from the head. I was doing this while I was running it, but I'm gonna unbind from the head. Oh. Oh. Okay, hold up. Let me change the anime. Okay, I know why. We're binding. I was binding to the wrong state. Okay, so let's turn. There we go. So let's bind to here. So I don't know why this is like this, but sometimes this happens. That's all I know. So I'm gonna do 5. It's too much. 4. I mean, when you do hair as a separate asset in Unreal, you end up doing this anyway. Like I do anyway. I always end up like retweaking the placement. It's close. It's not quite the placement. Okay, so she was like in a pose and it was an old bind. With it, when you have the bind to Groom, that is a place where it doesn't like it sometimes. Like that's very crashy. So I unbound it. 3. The placement is okay. That's okay looking. Okay, so this might do it now. So we're unbound. So I unbound the hair from the skeleton. And there's no animation asset either. Going over Skinner hair setup. I'm going to probably just I'm going to follow a tutorial. I don't know if I'm going to stream that though. Making your characters bald from now on. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's much easier. Okay, so hair is everything though, man. It's the difference. Like character creator, in my opinion, is good enough. Like really good if you customize it well. I mean, you know, Hans is like really good at customizing them at this point. So there we go. Now it's on. I have no idea what the difference between Kasserot rods and angular springs are. And you can't tell unless they're moving, so I'm not going to even mess with that right now. So save again. So now it's physics hair. If you do things like, there's a lot of params, like everything, but the main ones are strand size, bend, and then forces. So like if I basically do like 800, this is what I was doing the other day. It's just, it blows the hair around, but it doesn't do it like in gusts, so it's just a constant air vector. So it doesn't look like wind. It's just more like, here's a ton of hair, you know, it's just like, here's a ton. It looks like you see a... so it's not like a wind simulation. It's more just like a constant air vector. Right, so it looks like it's stuck there with hair gel, but it's actually physics, but it's not it's not changing, right? There's no change in value, so it just doesn't. It looks like it's stuck versus it being blown in the air. But the physics is there. They just have to tie it into the actual wind system. So we have bend stiffness. This is very much like a Houdini vellum solver happening here. So we have bend stiffness, and you can do it probably tip to root to tip here. But if I make this now, if you go too far, this crashes. Also like Houdini, like if you go too far with Houdini, it's not good. So if I do 0.01, if I do 0.1, it like doesn't move. Like the hair pretty much stays where it is. But if I do 0.01, it comes down, and if I do 0.001, it comes down a lot, right? So it's very bendy, like not much hair gel, and that's probably pretty realistic with no hair gel. So we could do it like that. Maybe 0.005. It's pretty cool. And so like all that grooming you did, all that clumping, it still respects it, but you can then loosen it to the point where like there's no clumping and it's just like straight up hair. Like what if I did 0? I don't think that's a good idea, but there's it like completely down in her face, right? That's kind of cool. And so like your groom isn't necessarily about oh shit. There's another aspect to the groom in that how you simulate the hair. So you might groom it a specific way knowing you're going to do a specific amount of bend stiffness. That's like the whole point, is like it's, you know, and the number of people that know that and know how to do that correctly is probably like not many yet. On a contract basis, it's like, here's $1,000, can you make me a haircut that does this perfectly? It's like, I don't know who I would hire for that yet. Storm Simulator, yeah. So there's also strand size, and this is like how much computation goes into the simulation, I believe. So like I would assume, like it says number of particles per guide that will be used for simulation. So if you do 2, it crashes, or it does something super weird. So I imagine if you have really long hair, the size strand goes up. It's like how many CVs on the hair for the simulation, essentially. So let's do this kind of like loose 0.001, and I'll rebind it, and hopefully it won't crash. And you know, it's experimental stuff here. Skeletal mesh bind, nice, no crashing. Let's do the broken arms walk. Let's go to Cinecamera 1 and sim. So I have her walking at like half speed because otherwise it's like so fast. So it's a little bit, no one walks this slowly, but you know. So with that amount of bend, it pretty much negates all of the grouping of the what's it called? The clumping. It like negates the clumping for the most part. So it's just like she has like long hair, and you can see like the strands that I've made too long and whatnot. But if you cut that perfectly flat, it would look pretty dope, like as just this. And look at the lighting on the hair. Like each strand of hair is like reflecting. And this is just like the stock hair shader, which is literally feeding a color into the albedo. That's it. I haven't done anything to make the hair shaders look better, and it looks like incredible. Yeah, it's fucking crazy. And so from like a DP point of view, what kind of hair do you want to light? Video game hair or that? And it's that. So that's why I'm spending all this time at least understanding it, so I can hire people or make it myself. Fuck it. So I'll do 0.05. Ooh, crashy. We got crashy. Okay, you gotta unbind. Yeah, we crashed. Okay, so you gotta unbind it. Oh well. But, you know, it still works. Like, it's fine. Okay, so that's gonna wrap it for this. How long have I been doing this? I don't even know. Almost 3 hours. That's cool. Yeah, so that's the workflow for Maya. It can be done in Blender, but, you know, I'd be concerned with the workflow. So if you're going to put your time into it, you're going to hire people to do it. XGen is guaranteed to work because I've done it. You know, I guess I'll make like an actual YouTube video about this at some point. But I'm going to be doing hair this way because it lights better. That's basically what it is. And it makes them look more realistic. It runs fine. If you have a 2080 Ti, it'll run even better on the Quadra downstairs. Just shred your Blender. It's a performance thing. If you're making a video game, you're not going to use that hair today, right? But if you're making like a virtual production like film, you might think about it. And the reason that hair got put in there is so that they can make animated movies with like dogs, and, you know, animated shows need perfect hair. And so like that's what that's for. I'm going to use it for humans, of course. Works fine. Works completely fine for me. It's a little crashy when it's bound. You have to unbind, make a change, put it back on. You know, that's pretty much the thing I found that crashes it. Not a big deal. And so I'm gonna make more of these. I think that one's almost good enough. I mean, I'm gonna kind of fucking open it one more time actually. Like, I want to see it again. I want to take a screenshot of it. But it is it's good to go for me. And the hair is not that bad, you know. You do lots of guides. The more you do and the better you shape it, the more consistent the length and how you want it to look better. You do the modifiers. Ooh, that's not good that the hair's not even showing up. Oh man, that's bad. So we had a crash right out of the gate. That's a hard thing to get past. There's nothing, again, this is why I have not added these to Cinetracer. I don't add any of this experimental stuff to Cinetracer branch, and why there hasn't been an update for so long until I get it working. I mean, I have backups, we're source controlled, but I still don't like adding any of this stuff until I've isolated the issues with it. And the update I'm doing right now, there's a lot of things, so it's gonna crash again. It's crashed. So this is a dead project now, because you can't even open it. So be careful with your hair projects. Don't go adding them into your real ones. There's nothing in this project. It's just a bunch of hair and some people. What you can possibly do is delete the asset out of here, which could definitely just corrupt. There's nothing in that. That project is just people. It's people and hair. But I don't really want to set up. I could delete this hair asset, possibly this U asset. That's the one we added, and it won't find it. I don't know what happens when you do that. I'm gonna go put this in the root category for a second. So I'm gonna delete this out. I'm just gonna stick it like here. I don't know what happens when you delete stuff out that's being used. Probably nothing good. I would never do that to an actual project. What was that project called? Wasn't it this? It was this. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to even open now that you pull that out. Let's see. See what happens. Unreal Engine projects aren't as malleable as like Maya ASCII files. I mean, they probably are if you really know what's happening. But I'm not going to like jump into the sea and like remove that references and stuff or anything like that. I have no idea how to do that. Let's see if it even opens. Failed to load, that's it. Okay, it's not too bad. So we deleted the problem child. Let's kill this walk. Let's unbind this groom. Can't even find it. Let's re-import it. This is what early days of ray tracing look like too. Early days of any of this stuff is very much like dealing with this. So let's go pre-turn on. Ooh, it doesn't even open up the things. Huh. 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 Wait, what? This is a bug where there's no physics here. I wonder if it's like there's like a redirector or something to it. I'm gonna restart this. Okay, now you're just looking at like normal Unreal Engine debugging. Restart. Do you know how to export UV maps to Unreal? Yeah. I did, but my UVs merged to the center like a black hole. From what program? UVs to Unreal is pretty straightforward. Blender, you just export hair as a limbic to file to Unreal, but you need to handle other Blender to Unreal issues. Yeah, see, that's like what I'm worried about. Or the general Blender issues. Okay, there they are. They're back. Let's make sure that this groom has nothing on it. There's no animations. We're gonna save again. I'm gonna turn on angle springs. I'm not gonna do any blendy stuff. I'll just use the defaults and we'll just try it again, yeah. That's not where that goes. That's crashy too sometimes if you do something like that dumb. Okay, there it is. Ooh, it's even in the right place now. What? Okay. Didn't have to even do anything to it. Or was were the translations already built in? They were built in. I had to move it forward on Y3. Again, placing hair by hand in Unreal is pretty common for modular humans anyway. So the sim is on. So if I don't change anything, it doesn't usually crash. Like, it's fine. Oh, she's not walking. Okay. So, you know what? Let me take a screenshot in case it does crash. That's what I wanted out of this session. It's just a screenshot so I can look at it later and post it online. Alright, a screenshot. Boop. There it is. Make sure it's in there. That's the hair for the day. Could tilt up a little bit probably to the top of the head, but whatever. Look at the flyaway hair though in there. Yeah, I'm going to tilt up. Hold on. It's framed like that because when she walks, it's I'll take another screenshot. She goes down. Okay, so let's go next level. I got my screenshot. Let's do the animation. See how we feel about it. Bind. Still alive. And do the crazy walk. Half speed walk. Look at that flyaway. It's all worth it for the one flyaway back there. I need to widen her head capsule so her ear kind of like bounces the hair out, but overall I think it's pretty good. See if my computer can, let's see if it's Twitch in it, see if everyone's computer can handle this. Immersive mode. Oh shit. Oh, that's heavy. You're supposed to do this at 1080. You're not supposed to do it at 4K. This is 4K. That's working out okay, I think. Do I use CC3 characters? Yes. Yeah. Yeah, so I use Character Creator 3.3 for Cinetracer. You have to contact them directly for permission to do that. I'm not at liberty to speak about if that costs more and what the deal is. It's per case, per game. So it's a negotiation. It's not a stock license. So if you're going to use Character Creator, and there's even more nuance to the license for Character Creator to be used in video games. So you have to contact them. Which you'll find there's a lot of things like that as you start to integrate other people's tech into your for-profit ventures. They tend to be one-off. They tend to be per project, and they evolve over time. They're termed. It's not like forever. It's like for the first year, first 5 years. Like that's a whole different stream. But yeah, so there's a pretty looking groom. Pretty happy with this. I kind of want to add a little more bend to it. Am I gonna really attempt that? Because I don't like this. I don't like this one here. It's like what's up with this hair? It's too stiff. What's going on? So we've seen that if this hair is bound and you change the physics, it don't like that. So we're gonna unbind it, which brings it off of the head, kind of weird. And then I'm gonna change it. This might crash. Whatever. Fuck it. Like. Crashes, it crashes. Like no external forces. Bend. Yeah, so we want more bend. It's a 0.005. It's still pretty stiff, that one there. 0.001. I kind of want to see what that looks like running though. And maybe this collision, not collision constraint, I want to do strand parameters. We'll go 16. Ooh, there we go. Okay, let's try that. It's going to be more expensive to calculate that, if I would assume. Bind, no crashing. Yeah, that's pretty cool looking. I kind of want to take a picture of this too, to be honest. I'm going to take a picture. Hold on. Content creating right now. Why not use MD for hair simulation? What's MD? I don't know what that is. The final output would be UE4 render. So same quality you would get in Maya. I don't know what that's in regards to. So let's not go to 4K because that's gonna, that's a little much. Yeah, look at that. That's pretty cool. That one long strand's killing me. Okay, this gives away the gag a little bit because it is still, while the hair is rendering, at like individual for the most part. You can tell the physics is not. It has decimated the number of curves that have come in to simplify it, because obviously you don't want to run physics on like 100 curves. So on import, you basically do like, what percentage 0 to 1 do you want to bring in the curves? And I did 0.1 by default. So it has like something like a tenth of the curves in there. And that's what it's running physics on. So you can really sense that it's like this, like, it's really the physics of like, a mop and not individual strands of hair, which that's clumping. So you could say that's clumping, but it's still pretty cool looking, I think. People are going to get sick of all these tests, but I have to post them because I look at them. I watched these like hundreds of times. And so what I'm mainly looking at here is the unevenness of the bottom, which I could have just trimmed that in the groom, or I could have done a better job with the guides. But say the bottoms were even, there would be not that much to complain about. It would be like, yeah, it's pretty much hair. Oh, marvelous designer. Yeah, it won't be dynamic. Oh, I see. I don't like baking. I like full dynamic. I don't like baking lights. I don't like baking simulations. I don't like baking any of that stuff. I want all dynamic. That's not everyone's pipeline, but that's what I do. One, so that it can go in Cinetracer, and two, I don't like waiting. I don't even want to bump this to sequencer. I don't like waiting. I just want to record it. It's on the internet. That's what it is, If next year it's better, that's cool, but I don't like waiting. Looks pretty good. Yeah, it's incredible. Like, what more do you want for like virtual production hair? Like, like I can then take her. It's not mapped on this project. Use the face over Ethernet is like really quite good over ARKit, and I have multiple options for full body motion capture. It's a great looking digital human, and I haven't seen anyone executing VTubers at this level. Like AI Angel's like 10 steps below this. Even the top Japanese VTubers are still using Vroid and very cartoony stuff, which makes sense. But very few photoreal VTubers. Just none. I don't know why. But, that's like my main preoccupation right now, is to get that going, Could you go, like, once you see this, you can't unsee it. Do you want to go back to video game hair after this? It's like, I can't. Same way I can't go back to, like, this is 3 ray trace lights running this as well. I can't go back to not ray traced lighting. It's ridiculous. It'd be absurd. So I'm not going back to other hair either, very likely. For Cinetracer, we'll of course always have like clay hair, whatever, for people running like MacBook Airs, but like, all the 2080 Ti's, you should run this. I'm going to eventually, I don't need to announce this on this, but like, I'll have a branch of Cinetracer that's for high-end computers, like, because that's the thing holding Cinetracer back, is that like really, really low-end systems use it. So I have to protect for that. It's called game development. Sorry for the crazy arms. You have to, actually, I'll see the other angle. You have to develop for the lowest common denominator. So a Cinetracer like can't be as advanced as it could be, But I might make like a Cinetracer advanced branch that's like minimum 2080 Ti. Or else don't cry to me when it doesn't work, Like, that's like, don't load that version. You want those big maps back. You want like, I can put anything in Cinetracer I want. I could put the whole marketplace. I could put everything in there, but no one can run it except for my computers. So eventually I'll make a branched version that's like super high end, minimum 2080 Ti, minimum 3080 Ti, and I'll spec it for 11 gigs of RAM, etc. And then you can run like huge, awesome scenes. But then it's like, everyone else just shouldn't even open it. It'll just be a private branch that's really just for the high end user, like me. Because I'm going to use Cinetracer to do VTubing. Essentially, I'm going to have a compiled version of it where it's like 4 or 5 of these different characters with this type of hair, full high quality shaders, and hooks up to ARKit, and then I could just put it against green, and you comp that into OBS, and you have a VTube machine. I have a compiled VTuber app running full ray tracing, full hair sims, full photoreal on Steam, you know, and I'll use it myself. Like I'm working on several photoreal versions of me from different people. So yeah, I'll have to branch it because like no one will be able to run it. Working on a real-time muscle system. Working tricks, no morphs, just weight maps. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Do you know Republic? Replicant. That dude and that team, they're doing a lot of muscle stuff in muscle-based deformers in Maya. I'm gonna be able to make that Marilyn Monroe hair eventually. That's a weird goal to have. I'm like looking at like hair and makeup magazines and being like, I can do that haircut. That's my life right now. That's what I think about all day. It's gonna pay off though, in my opinion. Like, this hair is awesome. It's really cool. I kind of want to. Now that this is not crashing, I'm probably gonna take a break from this and bump it though. What's VTube? It's virtual YouTuber. It's where you only show yourself as an avatar, a 3D person. So you're a full YouTuber, you're a full fashion influencer, whatever, but it's all virtual. You never show your actual face or even your real voice usually. Sometimes you're just using vocal morphs and whatnot. AI Angel and stuff like that. So I'm very interested in that for a couple different reasons. So this is my attempt. I want photoreal. I want best gen photoreal humans that I can that can be puppeted live. No baking, no cleaning up the mocap. Everything happens live as far as possible. So that's what I've been doing for the last couple of months. And the benefit, it'll go in Cinetracer, you know. If you have a nice computer, you'll be able to run lighting over this too. Again, this animation's crazy. But like this is all dynamic. If you come from any other 3D DCC, you understand how hard it usually is to render hair, and this is all just happening right here. Full runtime, full Cinetracerable, multiplayerable. I wouldn't replicate the hair physics. I doubt you probably even can replicate it. It's like, fuck you, just don't replicate it. Just have it all be local. Have the sims be local. Be fun. But yeah, you can't go back. For me, for my use case, I'm not making a mobile game for Switch, you know, like, for my use case, there is no other hair. It's only this. Moving forward, there's no cards. I'll never use cards. On anything serious, you know. Background actors get cards for sure, but like foreground single person character, 100% this, I think. Didn't know that existed. Oh yeah, dude, that's the future. Sadly, for better or for worse, rather, that's the future. For a lot of things. I mean, look how Disney rolls already. It's already very close for that kind of stuff. It's just more in Asia than it is in the US. Okay, well, cool. Thanks for hanging out. Glad this like didn't like super crash my computer. If you made it all the way through, that's how you make hair for Unreal and have it look incredible like this. And you just do a better job of like making the hair look nice. I noticed they did like a tech run through. You'd spend the extra hour or two making sure the ends are even and making it look like a nice haircut or making it look like the reference, etc. So I'm gonna run. I kind of like this morning streaming thing I'm doing. Maybe I'll keep doing it. I don't know. But I'm going to make a dude's haircut next time. Short haircut. Try to do a better job. Maybe I'll save it for tomorrow. So I'm going to head out. See you guys later. Peace.